All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Happy Friday, everybody. On this Pump Friday, Bitcoin is hitting into some key resistance right now. Welcome in, guys. Yeshwant, much love to you as always. Thank you for tuning in from India. Ryan Hansen, welcome in, man. It is an exciting day today for sure. Liam, what's up, man? Good to see you as always. You're in the long and the short. Awesome, man. We're schlonging this thing together. Normal Swede, yep, we are together, man. Short together. I'm short from right around 78K, guys. I got in a little bit later than some of you. I see some of you've got some really good entries here. But we're coming down to the VWAP right now, and I do plan to take a TP at the VWAP. This could become a much bigger dump. But momentum and money flow, guys, is signaling that we could come up to that 82.3K resistance. Quiet Alpha 89, Glasshopper 77, welcome in, guys. Yeah, stock market looks pretty crazy. We can go through the S&P actually because it's flipping that pitchfork band into support, the top of that pitchfork band I talked about yesterday. Wanderer 5813, thank you so much, guys. Please do smash the like button if you get any sort of insight into the market from this live stream, or if you're just having a good time doing some live trades. Hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Josh B, welcome in, man. Thank you so much for being here. Johnny, you as well. You got a great entry, Johnny. That is awesome, man. Congrats on that. And Teal House Coffee and Bakery, you got a really good entry too. TP1 taken already. Nice, man. Very, very good trade right there. Even if we bounce from VWAP, that is a successful, good scalp trade. So good job on that. Falcons Forge, what's up, man? The early Hiller Water. Okay, I'm sorry. The Hill Where, welcome up. Hello to you. Boom Donkse, good afternoon to you. Turbo's bouncing. We can cover Turbo. We can cover some of the altcoins here too. Chichan, much love to you, man. I haven't felt so much FOMO since we were still trading at 126K. I honestly have to say so. It's insane. The pump to 80 to 98K was nothing for me. No FOMO at all. But today, I understand you're feeling a lot of FOMO right now, but do not long towards tops. And this 78K was a major resistance zone we were looking at. Now, if you feel FOMO, try to enter a scalp short, but enter it with good risk management. A scalp long, excuse me, with good risk management. If you want to ride that momentum to the upside, we might be able to get into one during this stream today. 65K is still possible, and remember, guys, we covered a couple things here on the Elliot wave count. So the alternative was a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Here's your 3 because the gap between the highs and the lows. And then we were looking for 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. So this could be done with now, guys. And if you remember in yesterday's live stream, I said that this was most likely a confirmed 3-wave corrective move because during yesterday's live stream, we were starting to break those lower highs and see a change in market structure. So yes, I did take the SFP short yesterday as a scalp short. I took a TP with you guys during the stream, and I took a second TP and got stopped out. It was a winning trade for me, but it wasn't a big win. But remember yesterday, we talked about this move here, most likely being a 3-wave corrective move, and it being confirmed pretty early on for me when we did end up breaking that market structure during yesterday's stream. Remember this area right in here, we were looking at this little area, and if we broke these lower highs, we would say, okay, now we're seeing a bullish break in market structure. If you see a bullish break in market structure, it makes it more likely that this corrective move, this move down was a 3-wave corrective move. Because of that, my bias yesterday was that we were going to make new highs above Tuesday's highs. And sure enough, where are we coming into, guys? We are coming into that key resistance box I have had on my chart for months now. Not for months, for weeks. Let's say that. For weeks now, we've been looking at 78K, between 78.2 and 78.7, let's say, or 78.6-ish. So this is a key resistance, but I do want to cover now, if this is, let me zoom out here onto the 1-hour chart, because this morning in the Telegram, I posted to you guys from yesterday's low. If we're looking at this as an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even if this is an impulse, it should not be done yet. Now, there is one major problem with this. First of all, this looks like an impulse, right? Our wave 1, our wave 2, look at where our wave 3 came to, right to the 1.618, which was at the bottom of our box. where that naked daily point of control was. Now, our wave 4 could be in progress right now before seeing a wave 5, but I have to say there is a major problem with this right here. And yesterday, if you remember, Mambo was in here as well, and we were looking at this being a 3-wave corrective move, an established 3-wave move. Now, you cannot really at all count a 5 from yesterday's low. You cannot count a 5-wave move. And in an impulsive pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your wave 1, your wave 3, and your wave 5 have to have a sub count of a 5-wave in themselves. So if we were looking at this as a impulse, which I have to say, it looks like an impulse, right? 1, 2, 3, 3 came right to where it was supposed to, 4, 5. But inside of this wave 1, you want to see a clear 5-wave move to the upside. We do not see that. We actually see, on the other hand, a very clear 3-wave move in here. Very, very clear 3-wave move in here. So could we be looking at a larger W, X, and then you get your 3-wave move in a Y, seeing a larger correction, and then your Y wave in an expanded correction can end at the 1.618. It's a rare target, but it is not an invalidation. And are we about to see a dump continue and then continue moving up in the impulse, continuing the overall larger impulsive structure from 65K? So that is something that I am watching. I do like the look of this as an impulse, but as far as the technicals go, with this first part being a 3-wave move instead of a 5-wave move, that is not valid. That is a hard invalidation for an Elliot impulse. Okay, let me continue checking the chat here. Rui, welcome in, man. Much love to you as well. FOMO Central, yeah, happy Friday. 76.3, I'm longing. Well, I am looking to long right around 77,000, actually, right where this VWAP is. If we start to bounce from this VWAP. Now, guys, the reason why I shorted, by the way, I did short 78K. We had our naked daily point of control at 78,230-ish, I think it was. Let me see. 78. Yeah, right around, like, 78,230-ish. And we had bear divs on the 15-minute. You can see on Market Cipher B, we had the bear divs, but money flow was looking pretty strong. It is starting to dip down now. But on NAMI, we had multiple drives of bear div, and we had money flow bear div as well. So with this confirmation on NAMI, knowing that we would at least get some sort of reaction from this purple box, I entered a scalp short. Now, I am going to leave after a TP1. I am going to leave this short open for much lower prices, just in case. Or I'll get stopped out after a TP1. Either way, that's fine. If we are finishing that impulse from 65K, even if we're finishing it, you want to finish it on an impulse, right? If we're looking, let me just zoom out here to the 2-hour chart. And if we're looking at this as a 1-1-2 impulse, 1, 2, sorry, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Here's your third wave. 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. This, we cannot classify this as a 5 right now because it started with that 3-wave move up right in here. So could we be seeing a larger corrective structure in here for a 4 before seeing a 5? And that is possible, guys. We could be seeing a larger corrective structure. We could be seeing that, 3-wave move, 3-wave move, 3-wave move in a kind of a range that would form something like that, that would form over the weekend and maybe early into next week before pumping to $82,500 next week. So with that being said, and with the lack of high time frame and intermediate time frame bear divs, I am going to be looking. Actually, we do have high time frame bear divs. Excuse me. With the lack of our 2-hour bear divs, we don't have 1-hour bear divs on here. You can see no one. Actually, Nami just printed them, but there's not a lot of confirmation for a macro top quite yet. Now on the daily time frame, yes, we did see yesterday confirmed bear divs on Market Cipher B and confirmed bear divs on NAMI. But look at what's happening with this big bullish candle today, bullish engulfing, or, big bullish candle. Our momentum wave is now continuing to the upside, and actually it is equal highs right now with its prior momentum wave on this $76,000 high. So we are actually going to invalidate, unless this candle really starts to dip down by market close, we are going to invalidate our bearish divergences on the daily time frame. Now on NAMI, from our $76,000 highs to our new highs, we do still have potential bear divs on NAMI, but on the local, the more local bear divs on NAMI are now invalidated because of those equal highs that we're seeing right now on the momentum waves. Also, the money flow is looking bullish. So even if we were seeing bear divs here with a bullish money flow, that will always overpower a bearish one drive of bear divs. Now, the important 8-hour time frame. If we go to our very important 8-hour time frame, we were seeing some bear divs yesterday. We still are on NAMI, on Market Cipher B. We were seeing them on NAMI, but now with this push up, we have locally invalidated the local bear divs on the 8-hour. We have more regional bear divs still, but on the 8-hour, we are invalidating some very key bearish warning signals. Another thing, look at our money flow. Look how bullish our money flow looks on Market Cipher B. And even if we do have bear divs here, that bullish money flow will always overpower a single drive of bear divs. So I am overall expecting that we could continue this push up to 82.3, or even up to $87,000. But I know that I have already a limit order set, a limit take profit order set at 82. It's about 82. I think I did 82,230-ish for my limit order take profit on this pump up that we're seeing. And I will be looking to at least look for a swing short in this area if we have confirmation. I want to see some daily bear divs and 8-hour bear divs. I want to see the money flow rolling over. So that is kind of my overall premise in trading this right now. Okay, let me check the chat, guys. Thank you all for being here. 100x short wander. Definitely be careful with that if you are. Chatney Porgondola, welcome in, man. I took along from 75-150, TP1 booked, TP1 78K booked. Awesome, man. That's a really good trade, dude. That's a really good trade. And yesterday, actually, that 75-150, when we were seeing yesterday, we were looking at, after this initial 3-wave move up, where was it? Let me go to the 15-minute. So yesterday, we were looking at that 3-wave move up, and remember this high right here, SFP'd your internal highs. We SFP'd, and that's when we saw our scalp short opportunity play out. But coming back down to about 75.1. Okay, so you're a little bit higher. You're maybe long from this section right here where we retested the VWAP. That was overnight for me, but that's a good trade, man. That's good momentum you're riding. You took a proper TP, and you can even look to add to that if you'd like to. But I think, yeah, because I think locally we are going to continue. Even if, guys, even if we start to form a bigger range in here, because I do think that's likely to form a range. We're going into the weekend. We're at a pretty key resistance area. And we have that 4-hour order block that's in here, a very key 4-hour order block in here. And we have that bigger daily order block that's in here as well. So, and on the daily time frame, obviously, the high of the order block is a daily level. So that is coming in, you know, right at the top of the box, around 78.6-ish. 78.666 is where that daily top is, right there. I need to adjust this box. Okay, Chichon, good evening to you, though. You're still near long from 75, but still starting to get scared. Yep. Well, okay, even if the bottom is in, man, we're traders. We catch positions both ways. So we can ride momentum to the upside. We can look for those shorts, and say we do continue to the upside. Say we see something like this. We continue up here. We can get a good short from here. Even if we get a good short from here, only to come back down to the pitchfork band and bounce and then come up higher. This would be a good short, and you can take a long here, or you can even buy some spot there, depending on how it looks. I personally am not going to be buying any more spot until we get to 58K. And if I don't get a chance to buy more spot, so be it. I don't get a chance to. All right. Nick Cypher, welcome in, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for modding for me. Much love to you, man. Cypher, FH, I'm doing great, dude. Really good trades today. Really good trades this week. I feel like we've been killing it in the Telegram. And guys, remember, if you do want to join the Telegram, all you have to do is sign up with BYDFI using my affiliate link, join BYDFI using my affiliate link, and deposit the minimum deposit of $100 or more. That money is your money. You're not paying it to me. You're not paying it to BYDFI. You're just depositing on the exchange in hopes you'll try it out and like it. Once you've done that, you can click the Telegram link, and in that Telegram verify channel, you type in /verify and then your BYDFI user ID, and it will get you into the Telegram, and once you're in, you're in. All right, and I'll cover the sponsors a little bit later, but just go through the chat here. It rejected at the weekly 21 EMA. Okay, well, we knew this zone was an important zone, guys. Order blocks here, daily levels here, naked daily points of control here. So we were expecting some sort of rejection here. Now, if we look at our bullish small pitchfork, I mean, like this area to me, guys, this area right in here is looking super, super juicy for a short. Even if it's going to be, you know, something where we flip this into support and then continue up here, this area, we have so much confluence of not only pitchforks, but Fibonacci levels, trend-based Fibonacci extinctions, macro pitchforks. I mean, I think we could get a significant move. Even if we're going to make a lower high, we could get a significant move from that 82.3. R Pink, much love to you, man. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for modding as always, and thank you for the great job you do as always. Appreciate you, man. I do. Ron VJ, seeing, God bless you too as well, man. And I'm sorry that I butchered your name. That's not intentional and no disrespect at all to you, but God bless you as well. And thank you for being here. Crypto Clown World, what's up, man? Good to see you in here. I know that you've been bullish based off your EMA trading. You know, good insight there, man. Good insight. Patrick Schooner, what's up, man? Welcome in. Little Rick 69, CJ. Thank you guys all. Roy, thank you guys all for being here. That red line, is it an anchored VWAP? So if you're talking about, hold on, let me go ahead and hide this smaller pitchfork. If you're talking about this red line right here, it is a pitchfork midline of a bearish pitchfork. So we're on the daily time frame and pulling a pitchfork from your 2025, the beginning of the year, your initial all-time high, to the 74K lows, and then up to our current all-time high. That kind of gives us our bearish downtrend, like our overall trend, major support levels for that trend. And if you want to see if it works, look at where our daily candles closed. Yes, we saw a wick past the bottom of the pitchfork, but our daily candle closed at the bottom of the pitchfork. Then for the first couple weeks in this range, that lower limit of the lower band was acting as resistance. Then the next couple of weeks, the upper limit was acting as resistance. And the big thing that I talked to you guys about last Tuesday was the breakout of that pitchfork band and specifically flipping it to support here. So when you are seeing resistance on a pitchfork band like this, resistance within a range, but you're able to finally break above that and then flip it locally to support in the pitchfork trading style, you have a very high likelihood of pushing up to test that next major pitchfork band of next major pitchfork level of resistance. And in this case, it is going to be that midline, which is a very powerful level. So, man, 80, you know, and another thing, guys, if you want to see why 82.3 is so key to me, if we take a trend-based Fibonacci extinction and we go from the lows of 60K to our 76K highs down to our 65K lows, and we put on our ABC target zone. So the big thing with that is this could be a contracting diagonal. I mean, there is a valid count for a contracting diagonal, which is a motive wave. We have our 3-wave corrective move in a B wave, and then this is clearly impulsive in a C wave. And your most common target in the ABC correction is to come up to between the 1-to-1 and the 1.236 Fibonacci extinction. So, okay, that's that one. I could get rid of that one actually. Get rid of that. This is what we're looking at here, an ABC correction. Now, our C wave, the minimum target for the C wave was the 618, and I discussed that with you guys earlier, actually in yesterday's live stream and earlier in the week. But the most common target for your C wave is the 1-to-1 Fibonacci extinction. Where is that at? Right at your pitchfork midline. Now, if we take a Fibonacci retracement from our last huge daily high at 98K down to our 60K lows, and we look at our logarithmic golden pocket, you want to make sure you're on log scale because it is more than a 30% drop. From 98K to 60K is more than a 30% drop. So because of that, in order to get your proper 61.8% retracement, which is psychologically ingrained into the human conscious, then you put it based off log scale. Well, what else is coming in there? Guys, I'm telling you right now, this level is no joke. This level here is no joke. Multiple pitchforks, multiple fibs, multiple trend-based Fibonacci extinctions there. And then just above that, we have our next big level of resistance, which we could make it up to. That is your value area low of your all-time high range. I call this upper range the all-time high range. And your 1.236 Fibonacci extinction, which is the other common target in an ABC. Now let's talk the hyper bullish scenario. The bear market's over. 60K was the low. We're going up to new all-time highs. Where is your wave 3 supposed to stop? So we had instead of an ABC here, we're looking for a impulsive structure. Contracting diagonal in a wave 1. 3-wave move down in a wave 2. Your wave 3 most commonly comes up to the 1.618 trend-based Fibonacci extinction. Then you get your 4, then you get your 5, right? Now, at the 1.618, what our POC of the range is pretty much right there. Your upper pitchfork band is right there. So if we break above, actually what we need to watch for is a break back into this volume profile. Because if we come up here, we reject, you expect to overall to take out your 60K lows. Because the market, this is market auction theory, guys. So when you have a balance zone for the price of a fair value of an asset, in 2024, this was kind of our balance zone for most of the year of 2024. The fair value was priced around 63,000. It was considered overvalued at 70. It was considered undervalued at 60. Now, after Trump won the election, the market became bullish overall on Bitcoin as an asset, and we pushed up and we created a new higher price discovery fair value for Bitcoin. So for the year of 2025, we were largely in a macro price discovery, discovering a new fair value for Bitcoin, and that range was this upper range that I just circled. And in that range for 2025, the fair value for Bitcoin was around $96,000, $97,000. It was considered overvalued at $110,000, and it was considered undervalued at about $86,000. So when you are in a range like this and you have some sort of catalyst that causes a break of the range, whether that's to the upside or to the downside, you are finding a new fair value. The market is trying to rebalance the fair value for Bitcoin. So we had some bearish catalysts, obviously distribution range up here. We saw a macro bearish divergences. We tried to hold the value area low for about 3 months. We couldn't. We broke it down with volume. So when you break down with volume, the market is now saying we no longer accept the price of Bitcoin, the fair value of Bitcoin, to be between $110,000 and $85,000, $86,000. We're now repricing Bitcoin back down to its prior fair value in 2024. And what happened, guys? What happened when we came back down there? Let me go ahead and clean this chart up just a second. And let's just delete that. Oops, I want to keep that one on there. And what did we do? We came into our previous range, that 2024 range. And if I turn on those volume profile levels, we have our value area high, our value area low, and our point of control. You can see I marked them out. So where was the overall bottom on Bitcoin? It was at the value area low of your 2024 range. So the market said in late 2025, early, what was this, January of 2026, the market said, okay, the fair value for Bitcoin's no longer accepted within this range. We want lower prices for the fair value of Bitcoin. So it dumps aggressively back inside of your 2024 fair value. We come to the bottom and buyers are willing to step in at the where it was considered undervalued in 24. Buyers said, okay, I am willing to buy at undervalued 2024 prices. That's where we bottomed out. Then we kind of range here. We come up to the value area high. We reject a couple times the value area high. We come down to the POC. Now the market is saying, okay, guys, we're accepting the fair value for Bitcoin at the $63,000 level. We're willing to buy at fair value. If something you like if you're at a watch store and you see a Rolex and you see that Rolex is worth 10K, but it's worth it to you, it's considered a fair value to you, you'll buy it even though it's at fair value. You won't buy it if you think it's overpriced. You'll definitely buy it if you think it's on sale, but you won't buy, and you'll buy at fair value if you want to own that asset. So the market was willing to buy here once we flipped, held the value area low, and then we flipped the POC to support. And then we just chopped for a bit, right? Rangy. We held the value area low here at 65,000 of this 2-month long range. And now we're breaking out. But what happened here, guys? We broke out of the value area high of our 2024 range. We back tested, not exactly, but back tested a local support level that was right there, back testing pretty much the value area high of that range. And then now we're pushing back up. So if we push back up, now the market is going to say, well, let's go revisit 2025's price fair value. If we come up here and we reject at $86,000, $87,000, the market is saying no. Even though in 2025 it was undervalued at 86, 87, we are now accepting, we're still saying that's too high of prices. So if we reject here on the bearish backtest of our 2025 value area low, you can expect a major rejection and a possible new macro low being put in on the charts. But in the bullish scenario, the market's hyper bullish on Bitcoin, and the market now says, you know what? I think 2024's balance zone, its fair value zone for Bitcoin was correct. Or maybe even we're going to go higher, right? But if it breaks back inside that volume profile, you have a very high chance to make it up to the POC. Well, where's the POC? It's at that 1.618 Fibonacci extinction. It's at your pitchfork upper band, and it's obviously your fair value for 2025. So if we break back inside the volume profile, now we're finding reacceptance back within this volume profile. The market is now considering the fair value for Bitcoin back at 2025 prices. And if that happens, that's hyper bullish. Even if we reject from 96K, you often will back test that $87,000 value area low. If it holds, you have a high chance to work your way up to the value area high. And guys, where's the value area high? At the top of the pitchfork band. I mean, like these levels, there's no coincidence here. So we can trade these macro swing highs and swing lows, whether we reject at 82, 85, or we reject at 96. I mean, we have confluence to trade. If you know how the market works, if you know how market makers and the overall market prices in and values an asset, we have these targets that we can look at. And these are big swing trading targets, guys. So we have a lot of opportunity here on Bitcoin in the next couple months, depending on what it does. And personally, I don't think the macro low of the bear market is in, because we did not see daily bull divs. We did not see daily bull divs coming into that last one. You can see you had a drive of bull divs, but then you invalidated it with this drive, and we did not have weekly bear divs, bull divs, excuse me. So I am looking at either the rejection from 82 to come down or the rejection from 86, 87 to come down. That is my highest probability. And remember, we're looking at a W, an X, and then your extended Y wave in here to finish the bear market. So I am saying the next macro low, and I think it's going to be around 58K. The next macro low of the bear is going to be the low of the bear market, in my opinion. I will know more, obviously, as we get down there, if we get down there. Okay, let me check this. Grim Reaper, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you so much, and honestly, thank you. Could you say hello to my friend John Shanks? John Shanks, what's up, man? Welcome in. John should be in here. It's nothing but a small joke. Yeah, of course, man. You know, you could have just asked me that without the super chat. But John, welcome in, man. Grim Reaper, is John still in here? I know that one of my mods for some reason, put him in timeout from the channel, but you asked me to bring him back in, and I did bring him back in. So did he get like kicked again? Because if he did, I will bring John back in. John's always been respectful to me. So let me know about that, okay? And thank you for the super chat for sure. Okay, Roy, you said pitchfork, skiff or modified. This pitchfork, this bigger bearish pitchfork, is an original pitchfork. So you're pulling it, your first pivot is at the 108K all-time high, down to 74K lows, up to your 126 all-time high. You use it as a bearish pitchfork. If let me go on to a different chart and I can show you how to make that. So if we're looking at, and this chart is so, I haven't been on the MEXC chart for a while. You want to take your pitchfork, you're going to pull it to that first all-time high, you go down to the low, and then you're going to come up to your all-time high, and then you're going to change it to an original pitchfork. And of course, the settings you want to use, just the 0.5, the 618, and the 1. That's all I use. The 618 and the 0.5 are what gives you your bands, right? I call these bands pitchfork bands. It's kind of a term I made up, but this is your upper band. This is your lower band of the pitchfork. You got your midline, top, and bottom, right? So the bands, you often see in these pitchfork bands that you get consolidation and ranges in and around them. You do sometimes, now I understand that this midline wasn't really respected in this range here. It was for once we started, we kept rejecting. If you come in here and you see this, you saw a lot of wickage up past it, but we had many days in a row. Rejection, 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 rejection. Finally broke above, flipped to support. That's when you made new range highs. So it wasn't the highest respected, but you can see here, broke above it. Of course, went straight through it, but broke above it again, then flipped it to support. So it did have some support in here. It wasn't the most high respected, but I am expecting some sort of reaction from this pitchfork midline here. All right, let me get back to the lower time frames because, guys, I am looking at taking some profit once we hit this VWAP here, and I'm potentially looking to scalp. Now, remember what I say about the buying and selling exhaustion, guys. You have your quick move down, and then you start to develop a channel, right? A channel or a wedge, and you start to see that selling exhaustion come in. Now, when you're developing that channel or wedge, that selling exhaustion in this case, you want to see bull divs forming on low time frames. We see it on NAMI, 12-minute bull divs, money flow coming to the upside. Market cipher B is slower, but we do see it, the bottomed out momentum wave with the green dot. Money flow is starting to flatten out like it wants to come up. Now, if we go on to the 5-minute chart, on the 5-minute chart, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So your initial aggressive move down, and now we are starting to form this kind of descending channel in here where you're chopping around within this channel. We're coming up to the midline. We're probably going to reject from this, and we're probably going to continue to grind sideways and down until we hit that VWAP. I want to check Bybit. Okay, Bybit VWAP's just a little bit lower, but I am expecting us to at least come down and hit the Coinbase VWAP, where I will have a TP1 on my short trade from 78K. Now, here's the thing. You're going to, a lot of you guys are going to say, why take a TP so soon? Because if this is the high of that 1112 impulse, we could come all the way back down to take out 65K. So why would you take profit so early on a swing short? Well, it's to lock in some profits in case we go higher because our market structure is bullish. We are seeing bullish momentum here. So what I would do is if we, take a profit at the VWAP, if we come up to like, your golden pocket 786 and you reject and you start to impulse down, you can always add to the short up here as well. So you take profit here. If you start to reject that golden pocket, you can add to the short. That's actually what happened the other day. If you guys remember on Tuesday in the Telegram, I talked about that where right here we came up, we SFP'd the range highs, we got a big dump down, and then we came up to that golden pocket. And I told you guys in the Telegram as it was happening, if you didn't get into the SFP short at 76,000, that area right there, and on the 15-minute, you can see it was only a wick past it. right? It was only a wick past it, but that lower high right there was the area to add to a short or to get into a short. So it's kind of the same concept right now. And knowing that we're going into the weekend and we're ranging, you know, I'm looking for, if we bounce from this VWAP, then we could pull a Fibonacci golden pocket, something like this here, and we look between the golden pocket and the 786 for a potential rejection where you could add to a short after taking profit on the VWAP. Okay, okay, I think I'm way behind in the chat. Let me just check this out. I'm big shorting the next 4-hour break in structure. Yes, Static Attack, welcome in, by the way. And if we get a bearish break in market structure on the 4-hour, I would definitely be looking for major shorts as well, right? Swing shorts, because overall our market structure is higher high, or high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. But if we come down and we break yesterday's low, say we come down to the anchored VWAP at like 72.5, that's a bearish break in market structure. Because you broke market structure bearishly, now you have a higher probability of putting in a lower high before dumping. And that gives you that proverbial head and shoulders pattern, right? Or a topping reversal pattern. So as soon as we break market structure on the 4-hour, I'm obviously not shorting down here, but I would look for the retrace and I would be mega shorting here. Okay. Are you doing this in TradingView? Do you pay for it? Rui, are you talking about the pitchforks? The pitchforks are in TradingView. Yes, this is TradingView right here. I do pay for TradingView. I think I usually buy it on the Black Friday sales, and it's like, I don't know, 150, 200 bucks for the year or something. It's super cheap. So super cheap for the tool it is. Like, TradingView is a godsend. You know, without TradingView, man, we would have such a harder time trading. So for me, it's way worth it to pay for it. Guys, just like NAMI, just like Market Cypher B and TradingView itself, if you want to be a proper expert in the field, and for us, that's a day trader, swing trader, scalp trader, whatever it is. If you want to be a trader in the field, you have to have the proper tools to do the job, right? If you're a plumber, you have to invest in the proper plumbing tools to get the job done to be an expert in your field. If you're an electrician, the same thing. So for me, when I'm paying for a paid version of TradingView, when I'm paying for NAMI, when I'm paying for Market Cypher B, you know, I paid for Market Cypher B full price. I think it was $1,500 for this indicator. But to me, it's a tool that can help me become a better expert in the field, right? So it's an investment. I see it as an investment in my overall plan to become a profitable trader, or a plan to become an expert in that field, right? So I would recommend that if you're not paying for TradingView, if you can afford it, of course, I understand everyone's got different budgets, everyone's got, you know, different income levels and things like that. But if you genuinely want to be a long-term successful full-time trader, eventually, once you have the money, I would recommend you pay for the product, whatever it is that's going to give you that edge to become an expert. Okay, Hood, something to consider. XRP has weekly bull divs on the RSI. Okay, let's check it out on Market Cypher and NAMI. Let's see, that's buyback. I want to go to Coinbase weekly. Now, yeah, I mean, you did have the weekly bull divs between this low and that low. Yeah, weekly bull divs, money flows coming to the upside. But just recently on the weekly, the money flow starting to dip here on Market Cypher, or on NAMI here. So yeah, I would say we're at resistance right now, it looks like, on that price on XRP here. And I would even say you could come up a little bit higher to the top of the midline at like 153.5 up here. But for XRP, for me, the big thing with XRP for me is, and let me just get rid of some of this crap on the chart. The big thing for XRP for me was this move up right here, because after your macro crash low down to $1.11, you can see this initial move up is a 3-wave move up. Now, if the ultimate low is in, you generally want to see an impulsive move from that low. a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if we would have saw a 5-wave move here, I would say, yeah, the macro low's probably in. We're probably going to continue up. And that was the low based off weekly bull divs and stuff. But because this initial move was a 3-wave move, yeah, we could chop for a lot longer in a range here. We could even come a little bit higher and even retest the top of this channel. But I don't think the macro low is in because of this move. So I would be looking for potential. The next low, though, I would say is probably going to be the macro low. Just like with Bitcoin, the next low is probably going to be the macro low, the bear market low, and then we look for spot buys and swing longs. Obviously, we have some really good momentum in here in this move up over the past 2 weeks. And it does look like this could be, let me just zoom in here on the 4-hour. Man, see, even with this low here, you can see this low right here. What do we see here? A 3-wave move to start it. Then you get a 3-wave move here. So now are we looking for a bigger 3-wave move in here to finish it? A bigger WXY correction, maybe taking out this high or maybe rejecting from your midline here. I just don't like when you start a move with a 3-wave corrective move like that. Doesn't mean that you can't move higher, but it's less likely to be an impulse. But within corrective structures, you can still get impulses within the smaller waves of a corrective structure, right? Like even in ABC, I showed you guys this in yesterday's live stream. ABC. Your A wave is an impulse. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And your C wave is an impulse, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the overall structure is a corrective structure, and because of that, you expect to come back down. Okay. Well, LC SPZ photography, we'll check out Solana for sure. Thoughts on Solana? We are at important resistance, and I let you guys know about this resistance yesterday. By the way, I did end up shorting Solana yesterday from 89.4. I got stopped out and I lost the trade. I did not take any profit on it. I got stopped out. That was a losing trade for me. But we still are at this big zone of resistance. So this zone, and yesterday, guys, man, it was so sad for me, but we lost because I really was looking to short this naked monthly point of control at 90.1. You can see we came right up to it, wicked a little bit past it to hit the top of the box, which was our 0.65 Fibonacci. We lost it, and then upon the back test right here, once we lost the value area high and back tested, I shorted right here. And then we came down to our channel midline. And this channel, I developed this channel. I actually put this on the chart yesterday, but we pulled it from the low, and I bring it to this low because that low was, this you could see as a deviation. We remember if you watch yesterday's live stream, I pulled both channels. I pulled it from this low to this low up to the high, and I've actually pulled it to this high. And then I pulled this channel. I said, no, this channel's far more respected. So when you're pulling it, whether it's a pitchfork, a channel, a Fibonacci fan, things like that, the more it's been respected in the past, the more likely it is to be respected in the future. And when I pulled this channel, the midline was far more respected than the previous channel like this one, right? So I use this channel. Well, after rejecting yesterday from our resistance, we come down, bounce from the channel, you get another rejection from resistance, bounce from the channel, and then we make new highs. We SFP the highs, or we're making a double top, what seems to be maybe a double top here. But Solana's not really wanting to reject from this resistance. I still think we can, and I actually was planning to enter another short on Solana. If we did see this, I was just busy with Bitcoin and busy with other things and didn't actually enter it. Another reason though, and if you guys remember yesterday, we had a very important discussion thanks to R Pink about USDT dominance. Now, USDT dominance is super important because it's inverse to whatever the crypto market is doing. If USDT dominance is dropping, that means the market is pumping. Do you remember yesterday? We were all the way up here. Actually, we were starting to see this bounce on USDT dominance. Actually, no, where were we? We were up here yesterday. And I said it's likely that we continue dropping to take out these range lows and we come to the 382 Fibonacci in our box of support. Earlier today in Jason's live stream, I got a chance to talk to R Pink about it a little bit. And I said, R Pink, I think we're going to come down and hit that 0.382 Fibonacci. And what happens, guys, just like I told you yesterday, just like I expected, we're continuing to dump to take out your range lows, because when you lose the value area low, you expect to come take out the range lows. And if you don't see a liquidity grab of the range lows, you come to your next support. So you can see here, we actually haven't quite hit the 382 Fibonacci yet. I don't know why this box is pulled so poorly. There must be another level there. Let's see. Was there a... Well, I guess it's not going to show me naked dailies because it doesn't go that far back. But let's see if there's a naked weekly there. Naked weekly point of control right on the daily level, guys. And then your 382 is there as well. So this box was just poorly poured. It's supposed to poorly pulled. We still have not hit the 382. And I would say what is most likely is that we're going to wick past the 382 to hit the daily and the naked weekly. So I expect this to continue to drop until we hit this. And then we could start to form a range in here for a bit. And then we might see that USDT pump, that meaning that Bitcoin and the cryptos will dump. But do I think USDT dominance is done dumping? No, I don't. And because I don't think it's done dumping, that means I don't think the crypto market is done pumping. So going back to Solana, yes, we are at a key resistance. Yes, we could reject from here, but knowing that USDT dominance is not quite done dumping yet, I don't know if we're actually going to reject here. We might come up to the top of the channel and hit this naked weekly at 91.6, or even more probable would be to come up to your 786 Fibonacci and your liquidity at the top of the channel. So we might do this over the weekend, you know, something like this over the weekend where we actually come up and grab that liquidity. So, you know, small rejection from naked weekly, back test your 89K or $89 value area high, then come up to 93, and maybe then we start to see the bigger pullback. Because remember, USDT dominance is close to support, but it's not at support yet. Solana's actually at resistance, but we have another really good one right above us. So I'm not in the short anymore on Solana, and I have not re-entered it. This is a very nice level of resistance, guys. It's the value area high of your 2.5 month long range. It's a golden pocket, and it's a naked monthly point of control. And your, value area high, golden pocket, naked monthly point of control. Very strong volume resistance there. But I think that we might continue a little bit higher. Okay. Oh, John, you changed your name. Boomdonk say, okay, John, thank you for still being in here, man. Calm down, John, before I kick you. Can we forget below 60K now? No, Dogen, just like I covered yesterday, nothing macro has changed from yesterday. I was actually expecting it was highly likely we could come up to 78 and 82K, but still the same macro scenario is still valid for me. So let me zoom out to the daily. And on the daily time frame, we're looking for this larger WXY correction. And I think it's going to end around 57 to 58K. But in your W wave, you have this nice 3-wave corrective move. In your X wave, you have a nice 3-wave corrective move. Within your Y wave, you have your initial push down. Now, this is going to be our rally. And look at where 82K is, guys. Remember, pitchfork midline of the bearish pitchfork at 82K. Of our bullish pitchfork, the band at 82K. I'm telling you guys, 82.5K, 82.3 to 82.5 is a super important resistance area. And if we come up, to that area, and then you could still drop to take out your low and come to the bottom of the pitchfork. So, and this pitchfork, by the way, is a multi-cycle pitchfork. Let me zoom out to the weekly chart. This pitchfork is a multi-cycle pitchfork where it has been highly, highly respected. I'm just going to hide some of this stuff real quick, guys. Clean up the chart. Let's do this. I want to take that 618 off, and I want to hide this. Where, I mean, like, just let me get rid of this too so we can see a little bit better. Like, look at how nice this multi-cycle pitchfork has been respected in this entire bull market. So You pump up your initial pump, you reject from the bottom of the pitchfork band. You get a small pullback to golden pocket, you bounce. Then you come to the upper part of the band, you reject the upper part of the band, you get a small pullback to like that, I think it was like 382 Fibonacci. You get, this is a flat correction in here. Anyways, you reject from the lower part of the band, then you reject from the upper part of the band, then you break above the band, then you flip the band to support. What do you, and this is exactly what we're looking at with Bitcoin right now, guys, right? You break above the band, you flip it to support, you expect to work your way up to the next major pitchfork level. Let me just go right now back to the Coinbase chart. What just happened to us right now on the Coinbase chart on the daily time frame? We broke above the bearish pitchfork band. We flipped it to support. So where are we likely to work our way up to? The next major pitchfork band, resistance level. So going back to this chart, that's exactly what happened earlier in the bull market. I'll just go to the 3-day chart so we can see this a little better. But you break above the band, flip it to support, you work your way up to the midline. Now, in 2024, our all-time high was at $74,000 at the channel midline. You get a retracement for 8 months to backtest the band again. The band holds a second time. Well, guess what? This time we're going to try to bust through it. We did bust through it, but we created a distribution range right here. And look at what happened at this distribution range right here. And by the way, I made a video saying that this was distribution and that we were going to dump. A lot of people were expecting us to continue pumping. I said, no, it's more likely to be distribution based off the bear divs. On the 1-day time frame, we were seeing massive bearish divergences up in this distribution, massive bearish divergences, and as the range was forming, money flow was draining out, making it more likely to be distribution. But we formed the distribution range above, and if you see this, midline was actually highly respected. Support, 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 a little bit of a deviation, but support. This was a deviation, break back above, but it was holding a support for a couple days. And then look at this. Only once you started to lose that midline bearishly and it flipped locally, resistance, 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 dump. So we tried to break above the midline. We held above it just to form a distribution range. We lose it locally, we dump. Then we go back after bouncing from 74K, we make another attempt at the midline. That was your May 2025 all-time high. Rejected. What did we see, guys? A 3-wave move. And it was an $11,000 dump. I know it doesn't look big here. It was an $11,000 dump, but it was a 3-wave corrective move. The second we started it was a almost $14,000 dump. But the second we started breaking market structure locally here, I expected a new all-time high. So we break up and then we're attempting to break above the midline again. This was a failed auction of the midline right here. But this was another distribution range. And I remember telling you guys on the 1-day time frame, as this range was forming, same type of thing. Bearish divergences on the chart, money flow draining out as the range was forming. So it was distribution. We distributed to the downside, but look at where our overall all-time high is. Right at the rejection of the midline. Okay, so all of that to say that this pitchfork has been highly, highly respected. The bottom of the pitchfork, I think, is going to be the end of the bear market. But does that mean that we can't come up to backtest that band that we broke through? We broke through it. We haven't bearishly backtested it yet. Usually you'll bearishly backtest it and then you fall to the bottom. So I'm looking for that move up to 82.3, 82.5. And if we reject there, I am expecting to come down to $57,000, $58,000. But at $57,000, $58,000, macro support, I am looking for the bear market low to potentially be in. Now, could we come up, guys? We could reject from 82, but could we come up to the top of the band? Sure, absolutely we could. And that's going to be around, it will take some time. So we'll probably see something like this, chop in here for a bit, and then come up. And guess what? That's going to be right where your POC of this big range is. You know, it's going to be right where that POC is at. And once again, that 1.618 trend-based Fibonacci extinction. So we have actually so much nice macro confluence on Bitcoin. Bitcoin trades so beautifully. And if you can understand what is happening in the market, guys, we can make so much good money off these swing positions here. And if you guys stick around with me on the live stream, stick around with me in the Telegram, I am going to do my absolute best to walk you guys all through this, to get us all into all of these trades, and to just try to scrape money from the market makers daily. Okay, I'm so far behind in the chat. Sorry, guys. Let me, my VWAP setting is lower than yours. What setting do you use? I think you mean VWAP. Your VEEP setting is Jesus Save 77. God bless you, though. Thank you so much, man, for being here. Your VWAP is at 76,500. Yeah, you're on Bybit. Bybit's is at 76,500. I'm on Coinbase. So I like the Coinbase VWAP. I like Coinbase volume levels better, but you can see here, actually, Bybit USD is 76,785. Coinbase is at pretty much 77K. Gosh, guys, we're pumping right now. We are pumping. Pump up the Bitcoin, baby. Let's go. To quote Jason Casper. Yeah, Black Friday is the best deal of the year. That's why I always buy TradingView on Black Friday. Like, guys, even though like the full price non-sale on TradingView is not a big deal to me, I still am conscious with my money and the way I spend it. So I will definitely take a sale if I see it. I think 2 times a year, yeah, you get 80% off. Yep. Okay. The last range with 97K didn't really give much retrace when it dumped through. I think it was, yes, you're right. Static attacked, and I understand that the 98K down to 60K did not give us much of a retrace at all. So it was really hard to get into a swing short. But if you remember, we were actually looking for shorts within this little area because we were coming down to value area low. We were bouncing, and we were looking, I was actually looking to grab liquidity here, and it was a running flat. This was a running flat in here. And I remember I took profit here and I took profit here, if you guys remember those live streams. But yeah, it was hard. I understand what you're saying. It was hard. And the thing is, this isn't really giving us much of a retracement to get in either. But we did. We got a chance to get in at 65. We got a chance to get in at we entered a scalp long like 2 Tuesdays ago. If you guys remember, we entered a scalp long on this pump before the pump happened. This was Tuesday when Trump was going to blow up an entire civilization, but didn't, you know, like the type of thing. And we got in on a scalp position here. And I remember I'm still in that position. I've taken out 75%, but then I've re-added to it as well. So my average is higher, but our stop loss was so small in there that when it pumped up to 72K, I made like 9-10% on a little scalp that I was meaning to make, 1 or 2% on. And do I still have that on the chart? Let's see here. I think I deleted that position there, but it was a very small scalp that ended up running to be something. But because my stop loss was so tight, it was like a 0.1 something. It was 0.1 something. It was like this. And then when we pumped up like crazy, man, it was a great trade. I'm still in that. I've added to it, obviously. Gosh, guys, it looks like we front ran VWAP. That is such a bummer. We could still reject from the top of this channel. Let's see if we reject from the top of this channel here and then get a move down. That's what I would like to see. Okay, what do I think about MSTR? And can you check Near protocol? Yes, we'll check Near. We'll check MSTR. Let me just read this chat a little bit more. Okay, I would get NAMI before paying for TradingView. Yeah, NAMI, guys, NAMI is such a good scalping tool. Like, look at even here on the 6-minute. Lower lows in the price action, higher lows in the momentum waves, bull divs on money flow. NAMI is a scalper's dream, you guys. Not if you're scalp trading, I think in Market Cypher has the best money flow I've ever seen. But for scalping, NAMI is much quicker in confirmations. And if you're a scalper, like a guy who's entering 5-6 trades a day scalping, NAMI is one of the best tools ever. I mean, it's so great, guys. It's so great. Speaking of NAMI and speaking of that, real quick, guys, I want to take a second to shout out the partners of the channel. So the main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description below, you'll get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees, and you can actually earn up to 40% discounts on trading fees if you deposit some large amounts into the exchange. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses. And guys, we're trading futures contracts. We're trading USDT futures contracts. So just by trading on the exchange, you can earn extra income. You can earn up to $8,100 extra depending on the volume you trade. And they're also offering some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the entire industry. For instance, if you deposit $100, you get 50% bonus. Most exchanges do a 20% bonus there. They're offering 20% bonuses up to $1,000, and then they're offering 10% deposit bonuses up to $20,000, which is double what Blowfin and a couple other exchanges are doing right now. So really, really good incentives to get on. They have really good cheap fees. If you're interested, links in the description. I've also partnered with BYDFI to create the Telegram community where I try to keep you guys updated the absolute best I can on Bitcoin, on the altcoins. I let you guys know if I'm entering a trade. I let you guys know, what I'm like altcoin trades. There's also a general tab in there where you can at me and ask me questions, tag me, ask me questions. That Telegram is a private community, but it is free. All you have to do to join the community is join BYDFI using my affiliate link and deposit the minimum deposit of $100 or more. You can deposit more if you want to get some of the bigger rewards. But once you've joined BYDFI and made the minimum deposit of $100, you can click the Telegram link in the description of this video. And in that Telegram channel, you type in /verify and then your user ID for BYDFI, and you'll get into the Telegram. So /verify user ID. And once you're in, guys. The second partner of the channel is Blowfin. It's another non-KYC exchange that I partnered with. They are offering VIP 1 for 30 days. If you deposit just $5, you can get a $10 voucher. They have some pretty good net deposit bonuses as well. You can see 20% on $100, 10% on a $10,000 deposit. So if you're interested in signing up with Blowfin, if you prefer that exchange, using my affiliate link is a way to say thank you to the channel. Also, you guys can just hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. That helps as well. And then I have two KYC partners, two KYC exchanges, and they are MEXC and Bybit. Bybit's offering up to $30,000 in futures trading bonuses, and MEXC is offering a 10% initial deposit bonus up to $1,000. The last partner of the channel is NAMI, of course. NAMI is this momentum and money flow indicator, a scalper's dream, in my opinion. I use it for all my confirmations on my trades. Like this morning, as we were coming up to this resistance, I saw the confirmed bear divs on the 15-minute, like multiple drives of confirmed bear div on the 15-minute. That is why I ended up taking a scalp short from $78,000, because we had money flow bear divs, we had momentum bear divs. Now, if you're not good at seeing bear divs by eye, it prints them out for you. It also prints out hidden bull divs, regular bull divs, and hidden bear divs. It is, in my opinion, a really great tool, really great to help. So I use it for confirmations on my trades. I have partnered with them to get you guys 50% off. So if you click the affiliate link in the description, and when you're checking out on the website, use Divine50 in the discount code box, and you can get 50% off NAMI. And with 50% off, guys, it's 50% off the lifetime subscription to NAMI. I think it's about $740 for lifetime. And I understand for some of you that might be a big investment. But if you get into a few good trades, it can literally pay itself off. Like, even if you have a smaller account of $1,000 or more, $1,000 or less, a few trades will maybe it takes a year to pay off, but you have it for life. And honestly, for me, it's worth investing in something and, being underwater on it for a year or so and having better probability trades, in my opinion. So that's there if you guys want that. All right, Bitcoin is coming up to the top of this channel. Let's see if we get a small rejection or if we peak above just a little bit to grab internal liquidity. And then if we do this, if we peak above, grab liquidity, and then fall back in, I would expect to move to VWAP. Hey, how are you? Can you explain if we still get upwards for BTC? Yeah, Edri Sala, I do think we still could get some upwards momentum for Bitcoin, but right now we are at a big resistance. We're at that 78 to 78.2 to 78.6 resistance zone. So I would definitely not be longing right now. Now, if we're looking at scalp longs, like if we come down to VWAP and we bounce from VWAP, I will look to add to a long. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for the bounce. I'm going to get in late, right? You wait for the bounce, and then once you start to reclaim, maybe break some bullish market structure, like on the 1 minute, we'd be looking on the 1 minute, 5 minute. If we're zigzagging down here, we bounce, and then we break like a 1 minute market structure bullishly. Then I would add to it, and I would enter the long, and I would put my stop below wherever that little wick was at the VWAP. And I would be targeting, my first TP would just be the golden pocket of wherever that high to low came in. I would be targeting the golden pocket as a TP1. Look at that, still a 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio. I would probably only take out, because we have such bullish momentum, I'd probably only take out like 25 to 50%, and then I would leave the rest open, and I would leave, I would probably take a little bit of profit if we SFP this high, but if we don't SFP it, then I would be looking to come up to that daily level at 78,666. I would probably take a little bit more profit there, and then the rest I would leave open to 82.3. And then I would even look to compound that scalp as well. So yeah, I do think we could get more upside, but I don't think, like, we're at a major resistance area. That 78K we've had on the charts for at least a month, at least 2 months, I think, during this whole range forming. This has been on our chart during this entire range forming. So I think you could see at least somewhat of a pullback from here. Now, the biggest thing, guys, the biggest thing that we need to be aware of is, like I think it was Static Attack said, the break in market structure. We do not want to break market structure bearishly. Even like this is the 2-hour time frame. So if we break even this lower high, coming in at like 74,555, it's going to be bad. On the lower time frames, let's go to the 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, well, yeah, I would say that 75.1 is going to be a key break in market structure. If you break 75.1, so if we come down here, we break 75.1, maybe we come all the way down to VWAP or anchored VWAP, you bounce, I would be looking for a short right here, because then you could do something like that. You have your bigger 3-wave move, and then you get your push up to 82K. Turn that one on. I believe this is, yeah, we can get rid of that. All right, starting to see a little bit of a rejection. This is perfect. I would like to see us reject here. I would like to see us reject and come down to the bottom of the channel where VWAP is. And the fact that we're starting to form a sideways range here is actually pretty nice. Expected, actually very expected to form a range, at least over through Saturday, right? Sunday, we've been seeing some pretty good price action, but through Saturday, I would expect to see a range. All right, let's see. I was going to check. Does NAMI show CVD divs? No, it doesn't show CVD divs. It's momentum and money flow. The only place you can really see CVD divergences is like on order flow charts. This is coinalyze.net. It's a free platform. So if you type in coinalyze.net, you come up into here into futures data, you go to individual charts, and then you can just pick Bitcoin, USDT or USD on Bybit. You can pick it on Coinbase. You can pick it on whatever exchange you want. Speaking of our order flow, what are we seeing here? Now, guys, okay, let's look at this order flow real quickly here, and then we'll go into some of those altcoins that you guys suggested. Please, if you guys requested an altcoin or something, please repost it right now so that I don't have to scroll through the chat a bunch and try to find it. But look at this push up that we saw from 75.1K, from 75K. Nice, aggressive push up. It was pretty much all new positions opening up. But look at what happened here, guys. At the very beginning of that push up, you saw a bunch of fresh shorts coming in. So from here, actually, we'll just do the vertical line. Where are we at? Here. So from this area right here to this area right here, we saw shorts coming in here, even though we were pumping aggressively. Look at all new positions were opening up in that area, and your CVD was decreasing in that area. So fresh shorts were coming in this area right here. And man, some of them are still open. That's the craziest part. Some of them are still open here. So another thing, if we keep pushing up higher, we're going to squeeze and liquidate those shorts. But after that, you can see after these fresh shorts were coming in, now you can see how we had a crap load of long positions step in. Look at how aggressive your CVD went up here. And what is CVD, guys? CVD is cumulative volume delta, but pretty much it is market shorts and market longs. If the CVD is going up, that means longs are entering the market. If the CVD is going down, that means shorts are entering the market. Now, it's important to tell whether those are new positions or just positions closing out and taking profit or getting liquidated or stopped out. So if your CVD is going up, but your open interest is dropping, that means it's not new positions that are new long positions that are opening up. It is shorts that are getting stopped out or liquidated. If your CVD is going up and the open interest is going up, that's new long positions that are entering the market. And look at what we saw here, guys. A crap load of new long positions entering the market. And honestly, in these highs here, we saw a lot of longs entering right into the 78K resistance, like crazy. I mean, even 78K has been a very important resistance that is pretty obvious, guys. We had a naked daily point of control there. We have a daily level. We have order blocks there. So for some reason, you saw a lot of people opening right into that 78K resistance, opening long positions. But since our high this morning, today, you can see pretty much since that high opening, we're dropping a little bit, but it's on a drop in open interest. So it's just positions closing out. And what it is, it's some of those long positions that entered are taking profit. That's why your CVD is kind of decreasing in here. So some of the longs are taking profit at resistance as they should. I took some profit at 78.2, 78.232 earlier today on that scalp long. And that's why we're seeing open interest decrease here and the CVD decrease and chop a little bit. It's because a lot of longs are taking profit at resistance as they should. Okay, we checked Solana. We checked, what was the, NEAR. We were going to look at NEAR. We were going to look at, let me just do this. Let's set an alert. Okay, I got an alert set. So if we come down near the VWAP, we'll hear it. Okay, so we have ICP, NEAR, Bio, and I believe Turbo was one of them, but let's go to NEAR. Well, I will say this. You're at a very important resistance right now. You're at value area high and your pitchfork band. Look at the last time we hit that pitchfork band. Giant drop to the bottom of the band. So NEAR is at a very important resistance. We don't see bear divs on the daily. Actually, we do on NAMI. Potential, not confirmed yet, but potential bear divs coming up into this resistance. What would be a little bit better is if we could come up a little bit higher and grab, like, so maybe we're going to see something like this on NEAR. Some chop, get above the VWAP, or the value, the value area high, back test that pitchfork band and the value area high, and then work your way up to the upper part of the pitchfork band, grab that liquidity right into the top of the band, and then see a drop. But I would say, let's zoom in on the 4 hour, because look at how this was very strong momentum, and now it's starting to roll here. You're starting to see this cool down. And so that is concerning to see. Let's go first to the 8 hour chart. On the 8-hour chart, yep. So like, guys, aggressive move up, and now we're starting to get that buying exhaustion come in. You can see that buying exhaustion is starting to come in here. Money flow looks very strong, but look at all these bear divs. Bear div, bear div, bear div. Bear divs, bear divs, money flow, bear divs coming in here. I would, gosh, so the reason why I'm expecting maybe we come up a little bit higher is because even though we are seeing aggressive bear divs, look at one rejection, you get a small pullback. Another rejection, pullback. Another rejection, pullback, but you're not really breaking down. You're not breaking market structure bearishly. So you are at resistance. I definitely would not be longing now. If anything, I would be shorting right now. Your RSI and stochastic were pegged together at the oversold area. You have the bear divs forming. The only thing is money flow looks really good right now. So let's go zoom in onto the 4-hour chart. On the 4-hour chart, all right. And what I would be looking at is this channel here. So we're going to take this low to this low, and we're going to bring it up to this high. And you can see this selling exhaustion channel we're getting. So you had your aggressive move up, or even say this aggressive move up, and now you're starting to get the buying exhaustion, buying exhaustion, buying exhaustion, buying. But if we can flip this band that we're at right now, this green lower part of the band, if we can flip it to support, which is also your value area high of your range, then I would expect us to continue to work your way up. And yeah, you might break out of this channel, see a deviation in the channel, but I would look at like 153 and a half-ish, 153 to 154, depending on how quick we move up there. And if you SFP this into this, that could be a really nice short, actually. And I'm going to set an alert on that because that could be a short that we take in the Telegram. So I'll let you guys know if I enter that SFP short in the Telegram. Remember, USDT dominance is very close to support. So I am expecting at least somewhat of a bounce from USDT dominance. And when USDT dominance bounces from this support level just below us, it means the altcoins and Bitcoin are going to see a pullback. I'm not saying a crash yet. I'm saying a pullback. So if we come down here, that is when we'll be bottoming here and we'll be topping on Bitcoin and a lot of the altcoins. So with that being said, just you have to watch near, it's near resistance. It's at resistance, right? 4-hour, also look at the bear divs you're seeing on the 4-hour. As you're chopping and seeing buying exhaustion within this channel, you can also see the bear divs are forming within this channel. Money flow is starting to drain out of the asset. You've got it here as well, bear divs. You got money flow bear divs here more locally on NAMI. So just be careful. I wouldn't look for the big short on this yet until you break market structure. So the thing with this, when you start to see exhaustion, this exhaustion could continue for a while. So what you want to see in order for to get that big swing short is if we come down and we break market structure bearishly. I would even say these lows in here, these two lows right here. If you break below those lows, it's now an official break in market structure. Then you look for the retrace to that golden pocket area, and then it could end up dumping. So I would be looking at probably on the 1-hour time frame, a break in market structure on the 1 hour. Because right now, actually, it looks like, I mean, like, look at this. You keep rejecting from the pitchfork band, but you're also not really, I mean, it's just squeezing. We're squeezing tighter and tighter in here. So it's, honestly, with the market being bullish, it's probably going to pop up, back test, and then continue up to that upper pitchfork band, the upper limit of the pitchfork band, around 153, 154. Yeah, you do have significant bear divs, though. Look at this. Bear divs across the board here. Money flow draining out of the asset. Locally, it's starting to come back up on the 1 hour, so that means you could get a little bit of a rise. But you're at significant resistance here. So I definitely wouldn't be longing near right now. Very significant resistance. Okay, let me go back to Bitcoin real quick, and then we'll go to the next altcoin. So Bitcoin is seeing that little bit of a rejection from the top of the channel that we wanted to see. Not really a rejection yet. I would say it's seeing a little bit of resistance at the top of the channel that we wanted to see. But I want to get that pullback, one more pullback to hit VWAP. The way this is looking, though, VWAP could be a good scalp long for us, guys. ICP. Okay, I mean, look at this short. This was such a good short in here, guys. Now ICP is in this bottoming range. We're breaking out of the value area high with a nice volume imbalance candle yesterday. What happened today? We dropped to back test the value area high and it's holding. So if we close this candle today above the value area high, I would expect us to continue pushing higher. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. That's old. And then we can pull our macro volume profile. Oop. Wow. Okay. So your value area low is shifted down. You're back inside. You're at your macro value area low. Guys, this range goes back to June of 2022. So the entire lower bear market range in here. I'm just going to, yeah, we'll leave that stuff for now. But we're at the value area low. Overall, this is like an accumulation range at the value area low. I don't like how you don't really have accumulation here, because for accumulation, you want your initial low. You want a second low that's always lower than that first low. And then you would get a third low, a third higher low for a Model 2, or in a Model 1 Wyckoff accumulation, you get your tap 2. Your tap 3 is also going to be lower. And it's almost like this descending channel or selling exhaustion that forms. You break out, you see expansion. Now, on the daily time frame, you were seeing really nice bull divs right here. Look at between these lows, higher lows in here, money flows curving up, crossing into the green. Look at all these bull divs in here. But let's go to the weekly. And guys, I don't keep an object tree for this coin, so my chart's going to be messy here. But yeah, actually, look at the weekly bull divs here. Bull divs on the weekly, money flows curving to the upside. Bull divs followed by two nice trigger waves. So I would say it's near a macro bottom. Like if you're investing long-term in ICP spot, by the way, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't give financial advice. This is not financial advice here. This is my opinion on the technicals of the chart. But you have weekly bull divs. You're forming a range at the value area low of your macro 5-year long range or 4-year long range. I would be expecting, I wouldn't be buying right now because you're at value area high. But if you pull back, if you get another low, I would spot buy for sure. Like on another low, I'm buying. If we break $2, I'm buying. With the weekly bull divs that we're seeing, I'm buying. But you could chop in here for a bit longer in this smaller range. So let's zoom back into the daily. And in this daily range that we're seeing, you're at value, you're breaking above value area high right now and back testing it. So if we close another daily candle above the value area high, what's the most likely scenario? It's to come take out the liquidity of your range highs. Okay, so just like with Bitcoin, remember we closed above on Bitcoin. We closed above the value area high on last Tuesday. We back tested it, and then your most likely scenario is to take out the range highs. So I would expect to come up on ICP if we can hold today's candle above the value area high. I would expect us to take out that range high at like, what is that, 289? 290-ish. And then honestly, you don't have much resist. This daily order block is really nice. You see this daily order block in here? We'll throw the daily level on there because that is a daily level that is untapped. Where are we at? Daily at 333.6. Let's look at our naked monthly points of controls. And let's look at our naked weekly points of controls. Yeah, I think, okay, what would be nice to see, because obviously right now it's looking bullish that we broke above the value area high. We back tested it today and we made new highs. But what I would like to see personally is one more macro low being made on this thing, which could take another month or 2 months, 3 months or so. But if we see something like this where we continue up, kind of grab the liquidity of the range highs into this naked weekly, I would expect at least to pull back to back test the value area high again. If it holds, I would expect to move up. I mean, this is a pretty good zone in here because you have your whole daily order block is in that zone. So the big resistance above us, and I understand it's a big zone, but this is your big resistance box right here that I would start looking for potential swing shorts. And then we can pull our local, because locally we're in a bullish market structure, right? So we can pull a pitchfork based off of that, and you're going to go from your swing low pivot to your first high, your dead cat bounce high, down to that low, that next higher low. Now, I'm going to put this on a skiff because look at, this is a sideways range. So you don't want to use an original pitchfork because original you're looking for in a strong impulse to the upside. In a sideways range like this, you want to use a skiff pitchfork because it's the flattest one. So yeah, we're right at the pitchfork highs right now. So this is very similar to Ethereum actually. In Ethereum, we were seeing it yesterday. Ethereum's at the pitchfork highs. If Ethereum breaks out, I expect us to come up at least to 2,700 where we have a naked daily point of control. But really, I expect us to come up to like 29 to 3,000 on Ethereum. Now on ICP, we're right at that high, and I mean, this is pretty flat here. Let's look at a modified version of it real quick and see how well that's been respected. I just want to zoom in here a bit and look at the respect on this thing. Pretty good respect there. Let's now switch it back to the skiff and see which one is more respected. The modified one is more. Okay, so we're going to go with the modified here. So you're at resistance, guys. You're at resistance, but you're still above the value area high of the range, which is also your macro value area low. If we put that range back on. Now, if you're able to maintain, like I said, you got to be aware here because you're at the top of the pitchfork. If you fall back inside your volume profile, you could see a pretty aggressive dump. But if you can maintain above and you can break out of this thing and flip it to support, I would at least expect to take out this high. And then you might see a move all the way up to that naked weekly, or naked monthly, excuse me. If you reject here and fall back inside, there is a real chance you could come all the way back down, take out this low, or even take out your range lows. But we can keep an eye on this. We'll keep an eye on ICP. If you guys just remind me in the next streams, we'll keep an eye on ICP. Let's go to Bio real quick. Bio USDT. I don't know if I've ever... Okay, I have checked this. Wow, yeah. So we were in this very aggressive downtrend. A very aggressive downtrend on Bio. And we're breaking it with volume to the upside. Now, coming to your 382 Fibonacci, that's in a very bearish trend. The 382 will reject you. I like this lower high right here into the naked monthly. So it's, man, this is kind of a strong pullback. Now, I'm assuming this is a low liquidity altcoin. But I would say, and there's obviously some reason we're rejecting here. Let's see. $786 fib. Yeah, I mean, you're $786 fib. You're rejecting that $786 Fibonacci right now. This is a bit of a tough one here. I would look at your kind of bottoming range in here. Yeah, you're rejecting that back test of the value area low and your 786, your POC, pretty much your prior range value area low POC and the 786 Fibonacci. But if we look at this push right here from the lows, it does look impulsive, right? Like this looks like a wave 3. There's no other way to say this. It looks like a wave 3. So if we zoom in on the 4 hour, we could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you could, I mean, there is some overlap here between the highs and the lows. So you would have to classify this as a contracting diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have your contracting diagonal in here. And then you get your pullback in a wave 2. And then obviously this is the wave 3, right? Your big ass wave 3. So in a wave 4, if we're in a wave 4 pullback right now, remember your targets are between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci. Going from the low of wave 3 to the high of wave 3, we're going to put on those targets, but we have to use log scale because this is more than a 100% push to the upside. So we're going to go on log scale, set this based off log scale. Okay, so we want to see a pullback and we want to bounce really from this zone, right? Between the 382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci. What I would look at is we kind of have a bottoming range from this low over. Yeah, and you're back testing that value area high. Let's just pull it all. Yeah, okay, there we go. So this is your support, right? Your 0.5 and your value area high. This is the support on bio that needs to hold. If you can come down and hold that, then you want to at least make one more new high, and you have your. I would actually be looking at the naked monthly, and you can see I already have an alert set there because you have key liquidity of your channel resting right into that naked monthly. So you'd want to see, you know, your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and because you started the low with an impulse, you could look for a 3-wave pullback to golden pocket and then continuation. But right now it's aggressively dumping to the downside. I mean, the way this pumped up so quick and it's low liquidity, you're going to get these aggressive moves like this. Yeah, I mean, look at money flows about to cross into the red. I would wait, even if we come down here and you see your initial bounce, I would wait for a bit of a range to form in here. And then you could look for the long. But that 0.28 to like, what is that? 0.281, 0.28 to 0.286 could be a nice area to look for a scalp long. Scalp, or I should say like a day trade long, right? Longing here, coming up to naked monthly, and your stop is going to go wherever that, below wherever the wick is. That could be a freaking great trade. Okay, Bitcoin's dumping down. All right, let's check Bitcoin. Yeah, perfect. This is exactly what we wanted to see. It's perfect, guys. We got a rejection from the high of the channel. I was expecting this rejection. And now if we come down to the bottom of the channel and hit that VWAP, let's look for the long. But we want to take that liquidity that's resting right here. So we want to long pretty much right at 77 or 76.9. Now be aware that Bybits is a little bit lower. It's at like 76.8. So you could drop to 76.8. Let's look at Binance. Yeah, Binance is even lower than that. So Coinbase has its VWAP quite a bit higher than the rest of the exchanges. And because the rest of the exchanges are lower, we could drop a little bit lower. But I want to see this now. Like what would be really nice to see right now is a bounce to the midline and then a drop, because that could give us our bull dibs, right? Our low time frame bull dibs. If you drop straight down, you're not going to really have a chance to see bull dibs. So I want to see a bounce right now to back test the midline and then come down. Decrypto, good afternoon to you as well, man. Much love to you as always. Okay, hold on. Did you short the week? I shorted a 78K Dread Mining. I shorted a little bit late. There was a weekly there. There was a daily and a naked daily point of control there and that daily order block. But I shorted 78. I'm still in at 78. And then I am also looking to scalp long this thing as well. This short could be a much bigger short though. So if we come here, bounce, and then come up to the golden pocket and reject, I'm going to add a lot to my short right here. Yeah, guys, 113 watching, only 60 likes. Let's see if we can get 100 likes on the live stream today, guys. That would be so awesome. If we can get 100 likes on the live stream, I would really appreciate that. Yeah, mass liquidations at 78.6. Okay, confluence with the naked daily. Yep, daily levels up there. That would be really cool to see, actually, Big Nick. If we get a bounce and then come up and SFP our high into that daily, and that could give us our weekend range, right? But let's get a little bit of a bounce right now. Let's reject there, and then let's come down. So it might take us an hour to get down there. But I'll try to stay. Hopefully we get this trade during the live stream, guys. Yeah, we can look at Tau, Serious Crypto. Welcome in, man. Switch to log. I'm on log. Yes. And I get what you mean. Everyone in the world is looking at this trend line, guys. And I when everyone in the world's looking at the trend line breakout, the bump and run pattern, I just don't. Yes, it could play out. A bump and run pattern is common near the end of a bear market, right? But everyone's looking at this trend, this bump and run pattern, this trend line here with this bump and run pattern where you're at the trend line highs right now. You know, breakout 82K, back down, and then you get your run here. I don't think it's going to play out like everyone's expecting. But yes, you are at resistance right now. You are at resistance with that. Oops. What do I think about Fu Manchu? I haven't used it very much. So honestly, Exhibit, I couldn't give you a fair answer on that. Tau USD, I believe I have Binance chart. Yes, okay. So you can see that I have a 0.382 to a 0.5 on my chart. What does that mean? I'm looking for a fourth wave, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, get one more high, 5. But you did reject from your channel midline or your pitchfork midline. So be aware, pitchfork midline's a very strong resistance area. You are coming down to the lower part of your band, your pitchfork band, and it's also a naked daily point of control. That's where we're bouncing from right now. It's a naked daily point of control at 235.3. This was a really nice support. Now let's see if we hit the golden pocket, because if we hit the golden pocket, we did. Okay, so we can no longer classify this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because if you hit the golden pocket of your wave 3 retracement, it invalidates it. So let me just double check this. Yeah, you've hit your golden pocket, and I want to check one thing real quick. 131%, so you do have to use log scale. Okay, actually, there we go. That is a 131% retracement or pump. From this low to that high is 131%. So you have to put your fib based off log scale in order to get the proper 61.8% retracement. So when we use log scale, it has not been invalidated yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could get a new high, guys. And if you're going to bounce, this is the level. Like naked daily point of control at the bottom of the pitchfork band. That's the level right there. Yep, and you are starting to see some bull divs as you were coming down. Nami, or Market Cipher B, started to see bull divs as you were coming down. That's actually a really good low right there at that naked daily. And we've broken local market structure by breaking this lower high. You broke market structure bullishly. I would, yeah, we're rejecting from a local golden pocket. This has to be non-log scale now. But you can see we're rejecting from a local golden pocket, and it was a little bit of liquidity there. So what I would actually be looking at for this thing, I mean, this to me looks like a decent bounce. If we come down to the top of the pitchfork band at 254, I mean, this could be a decent long opportunity, even if you put your stop below the low to bring up to take out that high, right? That's still a 6-to-1 scalp day trade, swing trade on this thing. Yeah, I mean, Man, I'm going to set an alert here. Let's do this. Okay, so maybe along at 254. If I enter that, I'll let you guys know in the Telegram. I would like to see if we're going to enter that, I would like to see 15-minute bull divs or 12-minute bull divs as we're coming down to that zone. Yeah, we could get some bull divs if we come down there. And once again, we're looking for that 3-wave corrective move, right? Bounce, go. Yeah, it's the weekend though. Yep. So rangy pretty much. Wait, you're expecting 3K ETH on this pump? Maybe not on this pump, Sergio. So what I'm expecting on ETH is we're either going to reject kind of where we're at right now, or we're going to get a pump 27. So on ETH, the thing about ETH is, look at, you're back testing your pitchfork breakout right now. On ETH, we had our pitchfork rejected, 3-wave move, back tested the band. We're trying to break it. If we can break this and flip it even locally to support, there is really nothing in the structure, in this structure, that is going to keep us. Like, look at this, clear sky. Like, there's not a lot in here, right? We've already grabbed all the liquidity of this. We've already stopped out all the order blocks, or we've already tagged all the order blocks in here. So let's just zoom out to the 8-hour. So all of this has been dealt with, right? It's not naked anymore. It was all dealt with in this move. So if we actually see a breakout here, then yes, I am expecting that we could get a move, at least, because in this, there's no real support in or resistance in here until you have a naked daily point of control, 2 of them, real, like 2693 to 2732. So that's kind of your next resistance zone, would be this area. But the big resistance for me is coming up to, well, your pitchfork. Let me just turn that off now, those off now, and let me just hide the smaller pitchfork, and I'll show you the bigger pitchfork that we're looking at. So we've been chopping around this pitchfork band, which oftentimes you form ranges in and around these pitchfork bands, but you can see how this pitchfork band, resistance, 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 resistance. You get a fake out above, but then it was resistance, resistance. Now for the first time in this entire structure, you're actually flipping it to support. We flipped it to support. What used to be resistance is now flipping to support in the pitchfork band. So as far as pitchfork trading goes, when you flip a band of resistance into support, you do have a likelihood of working your way up to the midline. Now that midline is coming in at $2,900-ish. And just above that at 3,000 is your naked weekly point of control. But look at your 2 major anchored VWAPs. So anchored VWAPs are super important, guys. One anchored VWAP is from the all-time high, right? You have your anchored VWAP from the all-time high, and you have your anchored VWAP from the cycle lows, this $1,400 lows. So yeah, this zone in here is hyper important, hyper important to me. And also, if you look at your prior range, this range in here, that is going to be right where your value area low and POC is at. So between 2,900 and 3,000, major resistance. Major. But until then, there's nothing really in here. Quick move up, quick move down through that could mean a quick move up through it, right? Maybe you do something like this. Move up, small pullback, come up. Yeah, and we can even look at, so we have a pitchfork, our original pitchfork within this range here was pulled as you should from the low to your first lower high to your first higher low, and then you're looking at a skiff because it's a sideways range. You're looking at that skiff pitchfork. But now that we have a larger high and a larger higher low, we can actually pull a brand new pitchfork. I have never looked at this yet, so this is going to be fresh for me too. We're going to pull a pitchfork from the low of the range to your first range high, your first big range high down to that low. And I would, if we're expecting a big breakout, yeah, this is the modified version right now. Let me just see something here. Okay, this skiff version is respected a whole lot better. Look at in this move up. You know, you bounce from the lower band, you break above it, you back test it, you break above the midline, back test, you come up, you find some chop in the upper band. So you might come up, you know, 2480-ish. But I mean, if we're going to see that bullish scenario play out, that big one that I just talked about up to 3,000, yeah. I mean, I would expect this thing, look at you rejected from your midline here. Now we're breaking above it today. If we back test right now, right here, right now, which is also the top of this pitchfork. See how that's the top of this pitchfork? If we hold right here, I would expect a move up. So if we hold this, you could see a move up here, rejection, right? So yeah, I mean, ETH's at a very important level, because if we do fall back inside here, you're at risk of dropping significantly. And I would say you would drop to where these two anchored VWAPs are combining, this level. Okay, yes, please like the stream, guys. Thank you, Decrypto. Guys, I appreciate so much of your guys' support. I appreciate the kind comments you always give me. So many of you are in here on a regular basis. Really, we're building a great community, and I appreciate all of you guys. Okay. Big Deals Whale, welcome in, man. Lost X, welcome in, dude. And Sergio, welcome in as well. Sergio, if you had to take a guess, what month would you say we hit those 50K ranges? Well, okay, it's very hard to predict time, but if we're looking at our trend-based Fibonacci time, let me go to and look at, guys, by the way, if Bitcoin breaks out of this, back tests it very locally, and if we hold support, we're likely to get a new local high. So if we break it, we back test now, we hold it, we're likely to get a new local high at least. And then you could form some range in here for that bump and run pattern, right? Okay, what was I just saying? For the time, trend-based Fibonacci time, if we're looking at our impulsive move, from the low, the initial 5-wave impulse, right? We have our 5-wave impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this was kind of a flat correction in here, and then you get your big push up. We technically made the low. The 382 time is your minimum time target. We made the low after the 382. So yes, could the low be in? Yes, I don't think it is. But now that we're pumping here, and we could see a bit of a more aggressive pump up into the 80s, low to mid 80s. If we reject from the 83, 82.3 or 85, 87, then I would expect us to come down, and maybe our bottom is going to be around May, the end of May, where this 618 Fibonacci time is. And the 618, once again, is that golden pocket level, right? Time level. And so maybe we're going to come down to 58K around the end of May and then push up. But that's a really hard one to answer, Sergio. Hi, Divine. I'd like to open swing shorts, but I really don't know how to enter when price keeps going up. Lost X, I'm really looking to enter it as well. So the best way to look at entering swing shorts, first off, you want to wait till you're actually at a resistance area. Right now, we are coming into that important 70K, 78K resistance zone, but we want to look for medium to high time frame bear divs, and we can look at a break in market structure, right? So the most important thing to look at would be a break in market structure. So like if we go onto the 1 hour chart, And we're looking at the 1 hour chart here because I'm looking for the swing shorts too. I'm actually really going to look for a massive swing short at 82.3 to 82.5. But what we're looking for, because our bullish moment, right, market structure is king. The trend is your friend until the end. So if we're looking at high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, we could just put in a higher low and then keep doing this higher high, higher low until we get up there. But what you want to look for is a break in market structure, because the second, like say we do reject here, we come all the way down and take out yesterday's low, that's going to be a bearish break in market structure. Now, because you broke the low, it makes it far more probable that it's the start of the bullish trend ending and now a bearish trend starting. So you're not going to short on the break of the low, obviously. You've already dropped quite an aggressive bit. But after the bearish break in market structure, then you could pull your Fibonacci from the high to wherever that low was, and you're looking towards your golden pocket zone, like golden pocket 786. And then if you come up here into that golden pocket zone, that right there is where you could put in the massive short position. You would, if it's a swing short, you'd put your short position here. Your stop would go above that high. And if it's a swing short we're looking at this impulse being done with. So when an impulse finishes, even in a bullish scenario, you usually drop to the golden pocket. So you'd pull a Fibonacci retracement from the 65K lows to your high, and you'd be looking to drop to around 70,000. And actually that's important liquidity down there as well. So that would be the short. Now that's only a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio, right? So for a swing, that's actually kind of a shitty swing position, but you don't have to put your stop. The most technical short would be to put the stop above this high. But what I like to do to get a better position size and a better risk to reward ratio is I like to, once we start rejecting from this golden pocket, like say you break market structure bearishly, you come back up here, you start to reject. I like to look short on like a second, because usually you'll get a wick into it and then like fall and then something here. So I will short on the second kind of tap of that golden pocket, and then I'll put my stop above that high. And then look at that huge ass short. And then of course in a swing short, especially if this isn't A, B, C and it's done with, you're really looking to take out that 60K low and come down to 58K, right? So you're looking at a massive, massive risk to reward ratio of 48, you know? So that's one way to do. That's probably the best way to look for confirmation is to see a break in market structure. Now, depending on your trade, for a swing trade, I would like to see a swing high or a swing low broken. So in this case on Bitcoin, it would have to be yesterday's low being broken. But let's say that we chop around for a bit. Let me just get rid of some of this, guys. Say that we chop around for a bit, form a range in here over the weekend, and then we push up to 82.5K. I'm not going to wait for this low to be broken to short, right? What I would do is the other confirmation I look for is once we're into key resistance, not like in here or in here or in here. Once we're into key resistance, I would look for the bear divs on the chart. You know, the bear divs on high time frames, and I would look for the money flow bear divs as well. So that's when I would go on the daily chart, or like the 8-hour chart's really good to look at for money flow. You can see how powerful the money flow looks right now on Market Cipher B. So I would want to see, as we're coming up into this area up here, I would want to see bear divs developing on like the 8-hour, even the daily maybe. You'd want to see something like this where you have multiple drives of bear div, your money flow is topped out and is starting to curve down. And then on NAMI, you're probably going to see a lot, right? Because NAMI is much quicker. So you're going to see a lot of bear divs as you're coming up there, and your money flow, you're probably going to see bear divs on money flow. But it's a great question, man. And sometimes we just like, right? Like we know the common phrases. You try to catch a knife, or you're trying to short a rocket, right? So stuff like that. We don't want to try to short a rocket to the upside. We don't want to try to catch a knife to the downside. So sometimes it's best to wait for that momentum to end And remember, towards the end of a lot of these pushes up, guys, let me just go back to the daily real quick. What we see at these swing highs and swing lows is you start to see a lot of selling exhaustion, right? You get the aggressive push up, a pullback, aggressive push up, and then you start to form the range. And that's where you can look for distribution. Or in these smaller impulses, you get like a very aggressive, you get your 1-2s developing, 1-2, 1-2, you get your big third wave, right? And then you start to see that selling exhaustion, the channel. And once you're in that selling exhaustion channel and you're seeing bear divs, higher highs, lower highs, that is when you can look for those big swing shorts. So I will do my absolute best, guys, to let you know when I'm entering the big swing shorts. I will tell you right now, this could be it. By the way that Market Cipher and NAMI look, I don't think that 78K is going to be the ultimate high. I think we're going to come a little bit higher. I think we're at least going to come up to 82.3. It could be 87, guys, 86, 87. But as we're coming up to those areas, I want to see the bear divs. I want to see the money flow confirmations, and I want to see an actual reaction first. Because, you know, in the very bullish scenario of this contracting diagonal 1, 2, and we're going to get a 3 up to 96K. You're not going to get a reaction here. You're not going to get a reaction here. Or you might get a small, like, you know, scalp intraday short, but you're not going to really, if it's a big wave 3, you're going to bust pretty much through it. So I'm a reaction-based trader. As we're getting up to our area, I want to see confirmation and I want to see the reaction. But great question there, Lost X. And I will try to let you guys know. I'm obviously making videos or doing lives every single weekday. And if you're in the Telegram, I will for sure post in the Telegram, guys, when I'm looking to get into that swing short. I'll let you guys know ahead of time. We're seeing confirmations. We could get a push up. If you remember on Tuesday of this week, we were down, where was it? Tuesday. Yeah, we were right here. It was a small position. As New York was opening, we were in this area, and I said, guys, we're seeing support come in. I can't remember exactly what it was. If I go back to the Telegram, but I said, watch, when New York opens, I expect an aggressive push up to take out the range highs, and that's what we got. Let me see if I can bring up my Telegram and scroll back to Tuesday. What was Tuesday? The 13th or... Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to... Yeah, okay. That was at 6:53 in the morning on... I hate how it does this. On my other screen, this writing is much bigger. But, guys, we do... where was it? 6:53. Just like I suspected, we're breaking the channel. That was it. We were breaking out of a small ascending channel. And I said if we hold the channel, it's likely we make a quick move up at the start of New York Open. Let's see if we get the SFP of 76K. But breaking the channel with nice volume. Let's see if we get the SFP of 76K. And I was talking about when New York opens, we can get a quick move up right here. 4-hour chart, we have this nice ascending channel. If we do, we could see that aggressive move up. So, yeah. All right, let me see. When do I start the stream? At 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, Leo Swipes. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays, I make a video right around market close, and I post it as soon as, like, I upload it and post it as soon as that's done. So it usually is like an hour or so, depending on how long the video is, hour or 2 hours after market close. Doge, we can look at Doge. Yep, we can look at ENA. Awesome. Yeah, we did look at Solana. So Leo, and I'll look at Doge and I'll look at ENA, but we've already covered Solana. So I just want to show real quick, Leo, Solana. So Solana is at that macro resistance. It's a value area high. It's a naked monthly point of control, and it's your golden pocket, right? So this is a very key resistance, but we're not really rejecting like I wanted to see. And yesterday we rejected the naked monthly. We came to the midline and we bounced. So and another thing I look at for confluence on shorts, this is another question for you, Lost X, to answer your question. What we can do is we can go onto the USDT chart, because when USDT is dumping, that means the market is pumping. And when USDT is pumping, that means the rest of the market is dumping, right? People are taking profits into USDT. Well, in USDT, we're looking for a corrective move, right? We're looking at this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm looking for the 5th and final wave to end the bear market by taking out these highs, these semi-equal highs, an impulse there. But with USDT, if it's dropping and the market is pumping and USDT is almost to support, but it's not quite at support, remember, we're looking to come down to a naked weekly point of control right on top of a daily, and your 382 Fibonacci, which is your wave 4 target, the first part of the wave 4 target, the second part is the 0.5. But if we drop down and we haven't quite hit it yet, so I'm looking for USDT dominance to drop a little bit lower. That means that the altcoins are probably going to pump a little bit higher. So Solana is at resistance, but we're not seeing the nice reaction we want to see yet. And if Solana can push up, I think this $93 area looks pretty good because it's where our 786 Fibonacci and our liquidity could be at the top of the channel. And we're not losing the midline of this channel. So could we range in here and then dump? Yes, we could. Right now, I'm not seeing it. So if we break above it, we flip that value area high to support, I would expect to work your way up to the top of the channel, grab this liquidity. Remember, liquidity, and this is a sideways range. In sideways ranges, liquidity grabs are the most important thing. So if we can grab liquidity into the top of the channel and the 786 around 93.4, that would be ideal to see a liquidity grab. And actually, I don't know why there's no alert set here. So we do that. SFP short. All right. But we are at resistance on Solana. So I would definitely be careful here, because what could happen is while USDT keeps dropping, Solana could chop in here for a bit. Maybe we're going to get another SFP, create that selling exhaustion in here or buying exhaustion in here, and then drop. And when we're looking for that big swing short on Bitcoin, I'm going to be looking at USDT to see if it's at a macro support. You know, and by the way, guys, this might not be, this is only the first target. I do think we will at least see some bounce from USDT at this naked daily and daily level, or naked weekly point of control and daily level. But we could see a small bounce from here, reject the value area low, and then come down to this zone. And this is where Bitcoin is at 85, 86, 87, or maybe 82. And then this pumps and Bitcoin dumps. So I want to see USDT at a major support, and I want to see Bitcoin at a major resistance. Okay, now let's go to Doge real quick. Doge USD. Okay, I don't know how old that naked daily. We are hitting a naked daily on Doge, and we have this sideways range. Yeah, but you're attempting to break out of your value area high. If you bounce right now, I would expect us to take out these highs in here. Actually, those are pretty much semi-equal highs. Let's see. Okay, that one did SFP it. So you have some liquidity at 1044. And honestly, if we get, I mean, this high looks even better, like 1061-ish. But you're in a sideways range on Dogecoin, and you're at your pitchfork band. And guys, remember, we always range within these pitchfork bands. So look at this range in and around this pitchfork band. It was acting as resistance. We broke above it. We flipped it to support. So in a super bullish move, we could work our way up to the midline. I don't know if we're going to get that. That seems pretty aggressive. I mean, it is kind of a nice bottom in here. You can see the wick. Other than the wick, this is a very nice floor of support. We're also kind of creating this wedge that you're breaking out of. So you could come up to take out these highs. And actually, if you do, you are going to come up to that midline, right? So because we're breaking, we could see, you know, liquidity grab, pullback, midline. So around 1175 is going to be a very important resistance. And that could be a macro short. Actually, we'll set an alert on this. And then we can look at some naked weekly points of controls in here. You're pretty much hitting into a naked weekly and a naked daily right now. You can see it was a fresh naked weekly, and I believe this naked daily was fresh as well. It's from this consolidation rate in here. So you're at a resistance right now. I want to look at our naked monthlies. Man. Yeah, that's quite 14 cents, around 14 cents is a naked monthly as well. But I don't, not looking up there, right? Level to level first. We look at 1175 first. It is starting to form a nice bottom. This is a nice bottom consolidation. You're squeezing here. Look at this. It's like a squeeze, right? You're starting to squeeze in here. But remember, these triangles that form are often continuation consolidation patterns. So you dump coming into it. You might see the fake out to grab liquidity and then dump back down. So I would actually, because what you see in these triangles is you oftentimes see fake breakouts to grab liquidity of the high of the triangle. And then the market makers continue the overall trend. So that 1175 is actually looking like a pretty nice short if we get up there. Another thing we can look at is the golden pocket. Let's pull our log golden pocket here. From that last big daily high to the daily low. And let's, I believe this is more than a 30% drop. Yeah, it is, you know, 50% drop. So we'll take this and we'll put it on log scale. It's going to shift your golden. Oh gosh, this is so nice, guys. If we can get that liquidity grab right into that pitchfork midline and that golden pocket, like this is a super nice resistance right here. And wait, did we have that? I guarantee you there's probably a naked daily from this range, but I don't think our indicator is going to go back far enough. No, it's not. All right. Well, I mean, suffice to say 1175 to about, you know, 12.3 or 12.3 is a really nice resistance there. And then you can pull your volume profile, of course, of this small range. But here, just like on, by the way, guys, just like on XRP, from your low, your initial move up was a very clear 3-wave move. So because your initial move up was a corrective move, yeah, you could range in here for a while. You could even come take that high again. But because of this move being a 3-wave move, it is more likely that this is not the macro low. If it's a macro low, you usually see an impulse from it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? You did not see an impulse there. This is a very clear ABC. So yeah, I mean, prioritizing swing shorts if we get up here to take out this low. And we also front ran the bottom of the pitchfork. So how cool would it be if we come up here, reject, chop in here, maybe bounce, you know, and then come down. Okay, ENA. Let me see what we got going on here. We had a little bit of a channel or a triangle in here. You got that proverbial fake out. And guys, this is exactly what you see. You see a fake out to grab liquidity and then it dumps, just like I was saying on Dogecoin. So you see the highs of the triangle, this triangle that was forming in here, grab liquidity, and then you dump. Now we're at our larger 1.236 1-to-1 correction zone. So like on the 3-day time frame, if we're looking at this being an A, B, C, like this is the area where you'd want to kind of stop. Let me just double check that. That seems a little bit. Yeah, this is your area where you'd want to kind of find some support. This was actually really nice though. Look at ENA. Look at these bull divs that were forming. Boom, 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 and then look at this, and then now once your money flow starts curving up, and this is the 3-day time frame, guys. High time frame bull divs on this thing. I bet on the weekly you have a drive of bull divs. Not on Market Cipher, but on NAMI you did. So what I would be looking at, very nice bullish engulfing weekly candle though. I would expect to at least come take out on ENA because we're pumping up so aggressively. I would expect, yeah, we're taking out those highs. So these highs and potentially even this little high in here at 14.4-ish. But we can look at this range. So we can pull a range from this low over. You're breaking out of the value area high with massive volume spike. Daily time frame's about to curve into the green. NAMI's money flow is already heavily in the green and looking strong. This looks like good. ENA looks good for continuation. Obviously, you're not longing right now. You're literally at some high liquidity highs. You would be a fool to long right now. But we can pull a fib. And let's look at golden pocket, and we need to put that on log scale because it is more than a 100 or 30% drop to the downside. This golden pocket is actually pretty nice because look at these order blocks in here. And then you have that imbalance candle right here. So this golden pocket at 16.4 to 17 cents looks pretty nice. But you're better, the back test of this pitchfork at 26 cents is going to be really nice. And if we pull a Fibonacci from after the October 10th crash, you got a dead cat bounce. Okay, and then we pull it to the bottom. So from your dead cat bounce to your lows, your dead cat bounce highs to your lows, look at where your log golden pocket is. So this is the strongest level of resist. Guys, this is key. Liquidity grab into a weekly level, into a golden pocket, into the bearish backtest of your bullish pitchfork structure. If you come up to here, hold on, let me get that weekly. I don't want the fib. Weekly. Okay. Major swing shorts. Okay, I got that marked. Guys, if we come up here, you're at least going to get some sort of day trade to scalp trade short. That liquidity is very powerful liquidity. It's into a weekly, it's into a macro golden pocket. And what we could see actually is a 3-wave correct to move up there. Impulse in A, correction in B, impulse in C. Boom. On the lower time frames, you're just rocketing. You have heavy momentum to the upside. Now be careful, because anytime you see this parabolic curve starting, generally when it ends, you dump hard, just like Bio was. You saw how Bio went straight up and then it dumped hard. So I would definitely not be longing right now. Definitely. Even if this is going to continue up to here, you can't do it. I mean, you can, but you're risking, you're being, I don't want to be me. You're being dumb. You're being a fool with your risk management. Okay. Let me check Bitcoin and then we'll check APT. So Bitcoin, we're still waiting for that pullback to the VWAP. Okay, this is nice that we're getting a little bit of a bounce, but we're reclaiming that midline. So see how we just reclaimed the midline, back tested it. So we could work our way up to the top of the channel again. I think we're gonna okay, aggressive move down, and now we're starting to see selling exhaustion. Okay, so we're starting to get already our signals for a scalp long opportunity, but I still want to come down to VWAP. If I miss it, I miss it. I'm already in longs from lower, and I'm in the short from 78. Okay, let me, guys, give me just a second. I gotta reply to this text message, and I'm gonna get some water. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. We'll cover some of the altcoins. I'll probably go another 25 minutes or so, 30 minutes. Okay, so let's go into APT. Yeah, you're forming a bottoming range here as well. One thing I don't like about this range is this is the low and this is a higher low here. Because if this was accumulation, you have your tap 1, you'd want it lower for tap 2. And then whatever your tap 3 is going to be a model 1 or model 2. But I don't like that. But you are in this range. You're breaking above the POC. And even you can see yesterday's daily candle closed at the POC. You wick down here, but you're holding it as support on the daily candle. So that probably means we're going to come up to this value area high at 105.7-ish. Yeah, and your 786 is going to be right up there. Okay, that is a 28% drop. So we're not using log scale because it's under 30%. So that is the proper fib retrace there. And honestly, guys, there's not, like, look at in here, there's not much resistance in here. It's all, no daily levels, no, there might be a naked daily point of control. Let's see. No, there's not. And honest, yeah, like this is likely to continue up to your next zone of resistance, which is going to be this right here. Now, could we get a bigger break out of this range? Like, Bitcoin's breaking its range to the upside. Could we get a bigger break out of this? It's unlikely to me. Now, if this low was lower, I would say absolutely. But this is a higher low in here. And look at this. It would have made some super nice bull divs, but we don't have them because that's not a lower low. Okay, so I would be looking for a potential rejection and continuing of this range. Maybe we can get those double lows. And on, if you do SFP, this guy here, it could be a very nice long opportunity. Well, do this SFP long. But you can see we were holding underneath the value area low, backtest, reject, backtest, reject, backtest, reject. And each time you backtested and rejected, you made a new local low, right? Because that's what happens on these things. If you lose the value area low, you come up for a bearish backtest, you reject it, you expect to make a new local low. You did. You come up again, you backtest it, you reject, you make a new local low again. You come up again, you backtest, you reject, you make a new local low again. We come up, we backtest, we don't really see a real rejection here. We just see a small consolidation and pullback, and then you break into the volume profile. And then what happens when you break in? You break in, you backtest, you hold it as support. So guess what? You come up to POC. And right now we're just chopping around the POC. Now the POC is also the golden pocket area. If we turn on both the golden pocket and the 786, it is a golden pocket area. And I believe there was a naked daily point of control there that is not naked anymore because we hit it yesterday. Actually, it's just above us still. Let me go to the 1 hour. I like using the 1 hour for naked dailies. Okay. Yeah. So depending on, I mean, we hit it. On the 4 hour, it's not hit yet. I don't like how TradingView does this, but you can see. Well, yeah. So you might make 101.82. If you come to 101.82 and we get an SFP of the internal high from earlier today, because you are at resistance, guys. You're at your golden pocket and your POC. So what I would expect then is, and let me make sure this, make it daily. If you close the daily candle above the range POC at pretty much $1, then I expect continuation up to this area. If you come up here today, you reject this, and then you close your, if you come up, you SFP the internal high from earlier today, and you reject, and close the daily candle below 9999, then you could see a bigger pullback. But honestly, it looks like, let's go to the 8 hour and let's look at our important 8 hour money flow. Actually, I mean, guys, this looking like it wants to roll over here, and this is looking toppy a little bit here too. Maybe we are going to, I'm going to set an alert on this naked daily point of control. And let's see if we get a short opportunity there. But, you know, this is, because the daily candles, I still have to give priority that we're going to come up to the 786. Because look at, you finish the daily candle at the POC, the next daily candle opens right at the POC, you wick down, but you're above it. Yeah, so I honestly, in today's daily candle is super important close. If you close it below, then you are at risk of a bigger rejection and pullback. If you close it above, you're probably coming up to this resistance. And then, you know, if you break, this is a pretty nice daily order block in here that has not been tested. So I would pay attention to that daily order block there. Yeah. Let me make sure this is on log scale. Oh, okay. So we've already, we haven't hit the 382 Fibonacci, which often rejects you in a strong trend. So coming up and SFPing this high into the 382 is another level to watch because you front ran it. So 112.91 is another level to watch. Okay, let's check Bitcoin again real quick. Just chopping in the channel. If we do reject the top of it again, I know I said that here, but if we reject the top of it again, I really think we could come down and hit VWAP. Mac Mula, thank you for the comment, man. I appreciate that. And welcome in. Conwasm, yep, Bitcoin, we got that. Archie TV, much love to you, man. Yes, we'll check CRV right now. CRV, USD. All right, breaking out. Let's get rid of some of this old TA. Look at that 886 tap, and you get the drop to value area low. Let me pull this. You are at your macro 1.236 support, which is the support of the value of a corrective move, a larger corrective move. And remember, just like the last one we looked at, what was that? Dogecoin. It was Doge or ENA, one of the two. It was looking very similar to this, where we had that bigger three-wave corrective move. Okay, so this was your upper range, and the value area low of that upper range is coming in around 37 cents. But we're in this smaller range, so we want to pay attention to this until we break out of this. What I would say is, I mean, it does look like you could be in the start of an impulse here. 1, 2, you know, maybe a 3 brings you up to value area high, then you get a 4 and a 5 to take out your range highs. But look at this, same thing we were just talking about on Aptos. Reject, bearish backtest to value area low, make a new local low. Come up, I guess that wasn't really a reject. You made a new local low first, and then you tried to reject here. But you're breaking back inside your volume profile. That's important. You're breaking above your POC, and today's daily candle is breaking above it very strongly. Look at yesterday, you hit into the POC, you close pretty much at the POC, just a little bit below it. Today, you open a little bit below it, you wick down, and then we're pushing above it with volume. And if this candle today closes above this POC, then you really expect to work your way up to value area high. And if we pull a Fibonacci from our range highs to those lows, we put on our golden pocket. Okay, golden pocket is going to be in the way, but let's see if that's a 26% drop. So that's the proper golden pocket. And if we look at our 786 as well, yeah, I like the 786 a lot better, guys. A 786 is at value area high. And remember, within sideways ranges, liquidity and volume levels are important. So even though this is a golden pocket retracement, you have a volume level being the value area high here, you have liquidity here, and you have another Fibonacci here. So I think that that 786 is a lot better to be looking at. What you could see here is this pull back to POC, bounce, and then come up. And actually, that could give you this too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let me go ahead and check. Yeah, honestly, even within, so if we're looking at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Even within your third wave, so from this low, you have a 1, you have a flat here and a 2. This is your 3. We still need a pullback and a 4 and a 5 just to get for the third wave to be done with, right? So your third wave's still likely not even done. So more local upside is what I mean. And if we look at our trend-based Fibonacci extinction, okay, yeah, you wouldn't want to reject at that golden pocket, really, because then it could mean it's a three-wave move, right? If you reject here and you start to lose that POC, you're likely to take out this low. But if we're looking at this, the 1.618, Yeah, okay, guys, this is so nice. All right, so here's what is super important. Like, depending on if we reject from this golden pocket, you don't really want to see too much of a rejection from this golden pocket. What it looks like is we could be in an impulse, a wave 1, a wave 2, your wave 3, you would want to come up to the 1.618. You could get a pullback in a wave 4, and then you get a wave 5 to take out your range highs. That would be the best thing to see here. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to get it. The other scenario is that this is an A, B, C, and you're going to reject at your 1.236 and your golden pocket, and you're going to drop. But with this, even if this is an A, B, C, your C wave's not done forming yet, right? Your C wave needs to be 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you would want to get another high into that golden pocket. What we could see, let's say the bullish scenario where our third wave is going to end up here. We would see this then. You have your wave 1 here. Let me just do this. Wave 1 here, wave 2 here, your wave 3 here, but within the third wave, you still need a 5 wave count, right? So could you see something like this within a 1, 2, all of this is a 3, you get a pullback 4, 5, right? And then that ends the third wave. So you could get the end of the internal third wave high right here, and you could still get a pullback. You would want that pullback to not cross the 0.5. So if we do this, this is going to be a theoretical right now from the lows of wave 3, and I'm just going to put it right on that 0.65 Fibonacci. And then we look at our wave 4 targets. So actually, gosh, yeah, that would be guys, this would be super nice. In the bigger third wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Because if you do bounce from POC, you're expected to come up to value area high. So we see some really nice Elliott wave confluence with what's happening with the profile trading, volume profile trading. So potentially 2340, if we do reject from golden pocket, this could be a good long position. And you could even look for a good short at the golden pocket. What I would want to see is some bear divs. 2 hour, you do have very slight bear divs here. Money flow is starting to top out on the 2 hour. Let's go to our 4 hour. Okay, 4 hours topping out. Your RSI and stochastic are pegged together. Money flow's topping out, but you don't have bear divs. You have very slight bear divs on NAMI, and NAMI's money flow is topping out. You do want to actually hit the golden pocket, though. We haven't hit it yet. And then if we look at the 1 hour, this is going to be important. Okay, 1 hour money flow looks pretty strong here, but you are starting to see some bear divs. You're starting to see this top bear divs here. What I would want to see is a little bit more grindiness to the upside. And so, Archie, if we're looking at a rejection from that golden pocket, you are starting to see that buying exhaustion come in, right? You're starting to see the buying exhaustion. So what I would be looking at on like the 15-minute, maybe the 30-minute, you want to look at as we're in this channel right here, as we're starting to see this buying exhaustion, between all of these highs, you want to see bear divs forming on the 15-minute. And it looks like right now we're setting up for that. So yeah, let's see if we can't get that rejection. 2487. Let's do this. I will set an alert. God, I'm going to have a lot of alerts going off here, guys. Right here, we'll go to our golden pocket. I'll set an alert there. GP short to POC. 2343. Okay, there we go. All right, let me read the chat here, guys. Pearls, I understand, man. Thank you for that reminder. The issue I have is that funding rates are increasingly going negative, meaning more shorts in the market. But wouldn't this be fuel for higher? Yes, it could be fuel for higher. Absolutely. And you know what? In some ways, I do expect higher as well. Like I do expect to come up to 82.3. Just because the lack of extreme bear divs we're seeing now. The daily bear divs yesterday that we're seeing on Bitcoin have now been invalidated. So that's kind of why I expect a little bit higher. RSI on the 30-minute chart, bear divs, and we do not touch the bottom of the line since April 12th. Yes, you know, this is resistance, guys. And remember that trend line is there as well. So, yep, okay. Bitcoin, we're back to Bitcoin. You want to open a short and withstand at most a 20% for the price of Bitcoin. Would entering right here at 77.5 be reasonable? Well, here's the thing, Lost X. It looks like we're at least going to make one more high. So, I would like to see us bounce from okay, you're looking at 77.5-ish. Honestly, if you're going to enter the short at 77.5, you would enter now, put your stop above this high. And then, you know, if you break down, good. If you get stopped out, fine, just re-enter on, like, say we do something like this, and then we come up and we get one more high into that daily, because there's a daily at 78,666. You get stopped out of this one, but then you could enter a new short. If you hit into the daily and then lose this high, you could enter a new short here, stop going above the high, and then maybe look for that big drop as well. But if you're looking at like a 20% move up from here, I mean, that's a big move up, dude. That's a, you know, gosh, yeah, you have, that's a giant stop loss though, but man, yeah, I think if you're willing to be in drawdown 20%, that's I think the thing is I wouldn't want to enter right now. I if I was looking for that swing short personally, and I'm not a financial advisor and I don't give financial advice, I would have either looked for the short around this high, and you know, a couple people got in right at the top. I got in at 78. What I would be looking for is, well, we could once again wait for break in market structure, right? So if we bounce here and then you come up and you either make a lower high and then break that low, then you have a break in market structure. Now wait for a lower high, and then those are your 1-2s, 1-2s, and then you get your 3, right? Yeah, I mean, that's a tough call. I really do think we are probably going to come up into the 80s. And the reason why is when we look at this 8-hour money flow, which is really important, look at that money flow there. And you also, the reason why also, yesterday I talked about the daily bear divs, but if we go back to the daily now, you can see that our bear divs have now been invalidated because this momentum wave is continuing. And even your local bear divs on NAMI have been invalidated. Your money flow is looking really strong on Market Cypher B right now. And if we're looking at our money flow on NAMI, your money flow is looking really strong right now. So for me, it doesn't look like this is going to be a macro top. We could get a small pullback from 78K, but I honestly do think we're probably going to come up to 82. Okay, what do you do? What do you think about oil? Okay, I haven't checked oil in a few days. I was trading oil. Ooh, yeah, it's dumping. You know, for oil, man, we didn't take out that high though. Double top pretty much on oil. I would just be watching this range. Sideways range in here that's forming. You're losing the value area low because you can see yesterday you bounce from value area low, you come up to POC, you reject it, and now today if we close the daily candle below 88.37, you're likely to continue to take out this range low. So what I would be looking for on oil is we're bouncing right now. If you come up here and you reject the value area low, you are very likely to take out your 76.7 low. So that's going to be at like 88, 88.3, 88.4-ish. Money flow is aggressively leaving, starting to aggressively cross into the red. Let's go back to the daily. Yeah, and you did have, I mean, you didn't have bear divs because of, you know, that is a lower high there, but yeah, this is a lower high, so you don't have bear divs, but money flow is draining out. Nami, I don't know why Nami's showing bear divs here. I think it was going from the candle body close, but yeah. And look at your momentum wave is aggressively dropping right now. So I would say it is likely we're at least, you might come up first to backtest the value area low, but I would say it looks like we're going to come take out this liquidity. Come on, what's going on here? It's not going to give me a volume profile. Okay, guys, let me check Bitcoin real quick, and then I do got to go. Please hit the like button if you got any sort of insight into the market from this live stream. Also, remember, if you want to join the Telegram, I've set a bunch of alerts on a bunch of good possible trade setups in the next couple of weeks. And I will let you guys know if those alerts go off and I see a trade and I take a trade, I will let you guys know it in the Telegram. So if you want to get into the Telegram, it's free. It's a private community. It's free. All you have to do is join BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description, and you have to deposit the minimum deposit of $100 or more. Once you do that, you click the Telegram link in the description, and in the Telegram channel, you type in /verify and then your user ID for BYDFI, and that'll get you into the Telegram. Bitcoin is just kind of chopping within this channel, guys. I do have an alert set. Let's actually do this. Let's set an alert on this low. So I am looking for a potential move down to VWAP and a potential scalp long from VWAP. Scalp. Now, remember, I'm waiting for the bounce. I'll probably get in a little bit late. My stop is going to go below wherever that wick is. And my first TP would be the golden pocket, wherever that's at. So if we do something like this, my first TP would be around, 77.8, 77.8, 77.9. And that's still a good scalp trade. I would take 50% out there and I would leave the rest open to run. If we get an SFP, I'll close out some more. If we reject from the daily, I'll close out some more. But I would leave it open potentially all the way up to 82.3. Now, we also have to pay attention to the USDT dominance chart. If we, on USDT dominance, we have the crucial support just below us. And if we come down to that crucial support level just below us of that naked weekly and that naked daily level, naked weekly point of control. Gosh, why is this box so crappy? This area here is where we could see a big dump on Bitcoin, right? If we continue to kind of grind up here while Bitcoin gets a small consolidation and drop, and then we come down early next week and hit that guy there, and Bitcoin's at a resistance, that is when we could see that big dump on Bitcoin and the altcoins. Bitcoin dominance is at our range value area high. So the altcoins could run. If Bitcoin rejects here, the altcoins could run. This range is a pretty long range. It goes back, I think, to August. Yeah, middle of August. So we've been chopping for quite a bit in here. But you're at resistance. Now, could you come up a little bit higher to grab this liquidity? Yes. Even though its dominance is not liquidity per se, but it still trades the same way. Okay. Yeah, guys, please hit the like buttons. But the short I'm trying to take is the short down to 60K. Yes. Okay. So Lost X, if you're trying to take that short down to 60K, I mean, I get what you're saying. So if you're looking to short right now, and you're looking to take it down to 60K, if you have a stop loss that is 20% higher, so let's just do this. If we're looking at 20% higher, that's all the way up to, what is that? About $93,000, right? So your stop is up to 93. You only have it's a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio trade. And it's not the best risk to reward ratio trade to get into. What I would be trading my swing short styles a little bit different. I wait till we get to resistance. So we are at this resistance, right? So say you wanted to short now to take down to 58K, right? I would be putting my stop above the high, or you could even put it above the daily level. And that's going to give you a way better risk to reward ratio. So you can use a bigger position size. And then if you get stopped out of this one, okay, you lost a trade, but with proper risk management, it's only 1 to 3%. And then I would be looking for the next short in this zone, and I would do something very similar. And you're looking to take it down to 58K, and so that's the way I would personally look at doing those swing shorts. If I will let you guys know when I'm looking to enter swing shorts. Right now, I'm in a scalp short from 78K that I will leave some of it open, even though I'm looking to take profit like almost immediately, some to lock in something. I will leave some of this open if we get an aggressive dump until 58K. I don't think it's going to be quite yet. So thank you guys so much. Have a good weekend, everybody. Please use good risk management with everything. If anything important happens over, let's see, does your Blowfin link get into Telegram? No, it's only with BYDFI, guys. I'm sorry, but the Telegram is a private partnership with BYDFI, so it has to be BYDFI to get into the Telegram. But if something important happens over the weekend, I will update you guys in Telegram. I do have a pretty busy weekend, though, as far as with the kiddo and the girlfriend and stuff like that. So I will do my best to keep you updated. Otherwise, I will see you guys Monday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Make sure to take some time away from the charts to recharge, to spend time out in real life, see friends, family, whatever it is. I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for always being here. Great streams. I understand we didn't quite get that scalp today, but we can. You guys know the setup I'm looking for. Bounce from VWAP. I just laid it out there. So if we do bounce from VWAP, I'll look to at least take some profit at 77.8, 77.9, and potentially add to the short there as well if we start to get a rejection from that golden pocket. But thank you guys. I will see you on